like the subways.
Right. So this is
So I mean, you can extend it as far as you want.
Run into these
problems.
Of like,
there's no
highway.
Will be full, so the guys
navigate new train rail lines through the cities because
go to.
Well, yeah. So build them on top.
I don't know. It's just
be like Elon Musk, try to build them underground. Like you have to.
What is
right?
High-speed underground trains is actually the way they need to go.
Yeah, it's just what you need to make
the bag of bacon. Where's the bacon?
Like some cheese or like a
well,
cottage cheese.
They're not there, but they're running that loop, right? Underground, the boring. Because what do you bought a boring company or created a boring company?
I don't have a lot of
doing boring. But now they've all been put on hold because they didn't go and get the proper environmental assessment.
My daughter started eating.
That's for the wine. I'm like,
this is okay.
No, he's doing another one now at the Tesla.
My son, you can't buy them. I have to get
or whatever it's called.
Otherwise, they're.
How far down?
I mean, little pepperettes. It's like, no, that's not. It's big. You don't just have the whole day.
Maybe underneath that, yeah.
Must be quite deep, man.
Yeah, it is pretty deep.
Yeah, because they have those where they have the like flat up downs where you drop
Yes,
down.
has to do like multiple layers.
Multiple layers, yeah. Kind of like if
And
you look at
obviously,
a map of
you need
Boston
electric
underground
cars.
connection.
Can't have a combustion engine running underground.
Yeah.
I think it's genius. Like if we put it all together, it's gonna be. I don't know if you'll do it in our lifetime. Hopefully,
You're taking the suit off. What happened?
oh yeah. No, I'm gonna take it.
You don't have to.
I hope they. No, I hope they do. I hope they do it in much sooner than our lifetime. Make some fundamental adjustments, right? Like we either got to build over things or we got to build under them. Either that or we got to hope that somebody invents a hover car.
Well, that's crazy. I'll just move away.
Why are they all putting everything in downtown? Like, why do you need an office in downtown, like for life insurance or like they're not meeting customers downtown? I always thought about that because
What's procedures for it?
yeah, but it's so expensive. Like
I
I worked at OS Elevators and we need an office downtown because all our elevators were downtown, right? But we'd outgrown our office and looking for another office space downtown, and holy cow, like had to go out and search. It's like, man, this cost a fortune. Why are other people downtown? Our elevators are here at CN Tower.
Because I think what you get in Toronto is the central point, right? So everybody comes from all directions into Toronto. So your whole workforce is designed around commuting into Toronto to work.
But they talk to people from everywhere.
Like I remember before we moved to Mississauga, I used to commute out to Mississauga a lot to go to work. And it was like 5 minutes from High Park. It was nothing. Now it's 20 minutes to get from High Park just to get on the highway. Mm-hmm. Then I come in on the train every day. Well, Chris drives a lot, I know. It's a dead stop in both directions on the highway. It's not like you're getting to Oakville from Toronto going against traffic in 10 minutes. So you have this dense workforce that's all coming from all regions, and it's all centralized around Union Station. And that's why all the offices want to be at Union Station, right? Like nobody wants to, I got to walk to Adelaide now. It makes me want to shoot myself every day. Right?
But you work from home. Like when are people going to start realizing we're paying the square footage? We're paying for. I know what the cost of maintenance on the elevator of those businesses are down there. It's like, why are we paying that when people could either work at home or we could be out in. Yeah, because I don't know. When I first moved to Toronto in like 2001, I thought everybody lived on the other side of the town. It's like, what is going on? Like, let's just put our keys in the bowl and then because everybody seems to be driving. Like, I live in Scarborough and I work in Mississauga. It's like, what the hell are you people doing?
Yeah.
Like, they weren't just like coming to Toronto. Like, they were going across. Like,
so we're going to where you were, like you said, work from home. We have a huge initiative of reducing. We have 13 offices across the country now. We're going down to that'll probably go down to 6 or 7, and we're doing the work from home.
See, it's funny.
We're cutting massive costs.
See, we went the complete opposite, and now TD is going the complete opposite. So TD had closed an entire building at Creekside, which is across from Bell Mobility, for you guys to know where it is. That's where Holly works. They had shut down Building 4 because they basically had nobody in it. Now they're having to reopen it, and they're discussing building another building.
So why would they do that? When people not working?
They're not getting the productivity out of people when they're not in the office, and they're finding that they're not getting the collaborative gains that come from people talking. So you and I schedule a call. We'll sit and have that call when you're at home, but I don't run into you at the water cooler and say, oh man, it's funny I ran into you. I was just talking to somebody else about something I think you were working on. that leads to more discussion, that leads to more opportunities,
It will
right?
automatically pop up someone we were just talking about. Boom.
So we actually we moved to 100 Adelaide, right? Now, granted, we are the property management business, so it makes kind of sense for us. But to the 100 Adelaide building, which is the EY Tower now, it's branded as, and they made a space for every single employee plus 15% growth. So we have, and our entire space is designed around collaboration, right? Very few offices, like VPs have offices, nobody else has an office. There's kind of cubicles, but not really, right? It's all kind of open work areas for teams. They have collaborative areas to go off to. They built lots of areas to, for quiet space for people to go to private rooms and meeting rooms and things like that. Panels everywhere. So like the Microsoft Surface panels are hanging on the wall everywhere. So if you're talking with your team, you want to go draw something out, you just grab the pen, you draw it out, you email it to yourself, and away you go. So they did a good job with the design. We have everything set up to be able to do Skype and WebEx and whatever else you want through video conferencing. Every room has video conferencing, so we can talk with people like in London, Singapore, stuff like that. But they designed the entire thing to bring us all back into the office, and that's where TD's going. Like Holly hadn't been to the office, I don't think, in like 4 years.
Everything goes in cycles.
Right, and now she's back because they're finding this real gap in collaboration.
Like they're texting people that they're going to meet tomorrow, and then they're going to text this person who's sitting beside.
Yeah,
so
but the problem is with those ones there, they're not learning either off the other ones that I copied with the old ones.
They're fine. That's looking at a screen.
I honestly think that I've had both styles of teams, and I have one person who's actually a remote worker now, and I actually have another one coming on. He's out of Calgary for 6 months, so he works for Oxford. He's moving over to work with us. And I have actually struggled with it because I have got back into I walk in the morning, most of my team is there or they show up. We all talk about everything that's going on. When some shit happens during the day, somebody just says it, everybody knows, and we forget to tell these other guys that aren't sitting right there because we're all like right there. We got 12 of us and we're all right there together. And oh crap, this isn't working. What's going on with this? Does anybody hear this? Oh, I just got a phone call from so-and-so. And instantly everybody can kind of collaborate around what's going on. Instead of going, well, let me call Rob, or let me call Chris and see if Chris knows anything. And a lot of people walk around the building. So a lot of drop-ins. So people walking up to talk to you. And when you're at home, you don't get that, right?
But here's the killer.
How you're going to
absolutely. And this is the kicker to it. You do lose productivity. It's inherent. The question is, the productivity I lose is not worth the rent I'm paying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Marginal
the reality.
That's true.
The reality is
the
rent charges have gone up so astronomically, and think about the whole economics of it, that you built in the lost productivity, and we've figured out, I think rightfully, that there is a benefit. There's also a big reason for doing this is forget about productivity. Just think of how happy your workers are when they can go to the hockey practice. Like honestly, you can't measure that. I can't measure that, but I can.
But that only lasts like a few years as well, right?
No, not if you're full time with this.
No. I'm talking about your kids.
No, you're missing the rotation though. There's the next young family that comes in and rotates. Like everybody changes cycles, right?
But also, like if wages are sort of flat next to, people don't give 5% compounded every year. So if you're trying to get new people on, and it's quality of life. You say you can live in Mississauga and work in Mississauga. You can live in Oakville. We're not going to make you do that 2.5 hour return death trip.
True, but
you can live to 90, but you've wasted 10 years, sitting listening to talk radio. So
for our business, we have a lot of people though, and I think our business economically makes sense because we have a lot of people. I'll use an Uber example, right? You have your car, use your car, it sits in a parking lot. We have a lot of people have an office or a desk.
They don't use it.
They're not in it because we have a lot of people in the field that have to go to stores. And so it's the same mentality that says in our business, I'm not using my desk all the time. So why have a desk?
Yeah.
And in some businesses that makes sense.
And I agree.
Right?
That's where I'm saying.
Like for example, EY is huge, but they're a very small part of our building, right? And we have friends that work there, we see them. But they're not there. Because if they're at the office, they're actually not making any money for EY. They got to be at the client side, right?
And that's where I think you're.
But this is also where you get into well, the consultant's in to do something, but there's nobody else from the company they're going to consult with there.
Well, what?
And you get
We know
into this
about you and
weird
update.
cycle. It's and it's funny because everybody says the people that won't come in do.
Okay.
The people that don't come in are the old people. People that do come in are all our millennials.
That's good.
You should have seen little toast come say.
We had real issues though when they
Through that-
started
that's
piloting.
disconnected.
Disconnecting and then.
It also
then-
depends
No, it says
on how
connected.
you
I'll
measure
update
the
you.
benefit of your employee, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I deal mostly in manufacturing and things that are, you can measure
Well,
people
stack size
parts
is
per
zero,
hour,
right?
I'll
so you
update
can quantify it, right? So you can say,
When they
Through that-
started
that's
piloting.
disconnected.
Disconnecting and then.
it also
then-
No, it
depends
says
on how
connected.
you
I'll
measure
update
the
you.
benefit of your employee, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I deal mostly in manufacturing and things that are, you can measure
Well, stack
people's
size is
parts
zero,
per
right?
hour,
I'll
so you
update
can quantify it, right? So you can say,
You
if
lost
someone
your
says,
size is
like an
702.
inventory
We're already
planner,
up.
and he looks at 20,000 SKUs, he's supposed to look at this many a year, right? So he can do that at home. I know that it only takes 2 hours a day, so 6 hours I'm waiting for that next generation of stuff to happen where they look at their screen and say, I've got to order this, I've got to cancel this, I'm not going to do this. So it's 6 hours of doing nothing. So it's easily measurable. It's actually in one of the calculations of inventory planning of, if I only order once a year, I need a person to create a PO once a year. If they order
There it is, stack size 200.
5,000, right? So it depends if your staff can be measured on the benefit to the company empirically. Then you can say,
That's true, but
Do I get
it also depends
You
on
update your.
it also depends on the type of work, right?
yeah,
So,
exactly.
You know, like we have a
Just going
processing
to about
unit
you
that
and
they
get updated.
piloted, them working from home, because their whole job is just to bang transactions through systems. That's their job. And
Yeah.
they're measured strictly on their
Okay.
throughput, just like a factory worker would be. Well, quality combined with throughput, and it just didn't work because the people, even though we hear all this, well, you know, oh, I don't commute for 2.5 hours, so now I'm going to get to spend, you know, I'm going to get up at 7 a.m. and be sitting at my desk working.
I am curious
Right?
about where
And
all
none
my
of that
time is
stuff
going when I spend it
actually-
at home. I mean, when I went from Brampton taking the GO train to, you know, working at home more
Yeah.
in Toronto, I had all kinds of extra time, right? But I'm not sure where it went.
Well, you have a child now.
That's probably where it goes. I spent tons of time with her, but
Yeah.
I don't think I could sit down and say, okay, this is where I'm doing this is.
But it's the
Yeah.
jobs that you can measure
Tough.
empirically that'll be taken over by AI like very soon,
Correct.
right? So they,
for that.
But you see, you have groups like ours that are working in jobs that are trying to provide those solutions to replace those people. So you need that creative thinking to be able to be together to figure
oh
out how
yeah,
you're
that's
going to
part of the
solve these
value added,
problems, right?
Yeah.
And I can't do that. And I don't care what anybody says, like, oh, this stuff's all great. Even 20 people on a conference call is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's 20 people on this call. I'm just gonna not join, and then when they need me, someone will come and ask me because it's not an effective way to do it, right? Telephones are really designed for, you know, one person, maybe one or two people to have a conversation. Too many people get going. You can't hear it, can't figure it out. I don't know. I've been through both worlds because I worked a job that I worked from home fully. I actually am back into it now, right? I like going to the office every day. I like going in and seeing everybody, you know.
Socially,
And
too,
you got to remember too, leadership teams look, and like I don't know what you guys are doing, but leadership teams look at what companies that are doing well are doing,
Oh,
and you see the companies like Google's, and I don't want to keep Facebook because I hope they sink, but you know, these companies are actually building their entire offices to try and get their employees in the office for 12 or 14 hours a day. Right? They're bringing in the doctor, the dentist, the masseuse. They're feeding them 3, 4, 5 meals a day. They're having drinks every night. So they're actually doing everything they can to bring their teams to the office and not have them be anywhere else.
Okay.
Breakdown here. Still doing the deal. Still working on it.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Take this house, jeez.
She's the house.
You're checking?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I think that when they look at what other successful companies are doing, they like to model themselves after that, and they don't always think about what business that company's in compared to them.
Good start.
Check.
I mean, it would definitely be better for me to
Check.
take my,
Check.
hour and a half at lunch to be able to run across the road, go to the gym versus going and sitting at First Canadian Place after waiting in line for 15 minutes, gobbling my food and
Check.
walking back.
Check.
Jack. Just cost to say anything.
Oh, Bubble Boy, I have a treat for you too. You get that little Santa mug. That's your consolation prize.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, Rob gets Rob's the Bubble Boy from the last game.
Where'd you go, Robbie?
There.
Is it a mug?
Yeah, I think you should give him some of that chocolate. That's what he needs. He's been looking for some fat.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check.
It's got the flush.
Bubble Boy,
Oh, what's going on?
River. There's $11 in the pot.
Whoa. Who's gonna go all in here?
Check.
Someone's gonna raise it?
Check.
Check. What do you got? Is that it?
Let's show, boys.
Is that it? I got an ace.
Oh,
This says
Flushing.
C2 wins.
Anyone
Very
bring an
nice.
ace?
Do your guys all go in every day, Chris?
Wanted to.
Yeah, I did you win.
You guys all go
Let
in
you
every
win.
day?
Sorry.
Did you guys all go in every day to the office? Or
We have some people
Chris
who
won
work-
or
some people who work
I didn't
50% from home,
I had a king.
50%
said you
at
won?
work, and then we switch them.
yeah?
So it's basically people.
no, I
That
had a
size
king.
11 is won by C2.
I had a king.
I had an ace.
Who's
Oh.
too?
Did anybody have a pair?
No.
No,
So my ace won?
I had king.
Yeah.
There's no pair of all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no pair.
It obviously thought you had a different hand than you did.
So the ace really won it?
Okay, you're not recording this one, are you?
Yeah.
Seriously, the ace won it?
Yeah.
Of all those cards?
Way to go. $11.
Woohoo!
That was pretty weird.
That was weird. That was a lot of cards out to not have a pair.
See, I give people on my team a little bit of flexibility. They do appreciating all the
Yeah.
need to be able to go places and things like that. So they do, we don't have any policy, so we have figure it out with your manager.
Yeah.
So most of my team stays home one day a week.
9 there, so you have.
I make a point of telling people that I work from San Diego to promote that, like, we're good with that.
Yeah, we're not. Well, I think our new leadership team is really not good with it. That's why they've kind of created the structure they have to, almost guilt people into
Coming in.
being in the office. Yeah,
That's brutal.
they've kind of created a structure. They like to see their people.
We
They
need your
like
small
to
button, though, right?
think things are going on. Almost daily, there's some type of drinking event in our common area, so that's one of the big draws. Like everybody heads up there. Everybody heads up there at 5 o'clock to drink beers almost every day.
You got the same thing. There's this rum social that happens in this Steven social.
Well attended.
I always know because when it gets late in the day, I'll see people appearing and I'll go, "Oh, there must be a drink up upstairs today."
That's hilarious.
But that's really only for our groups, right? Because we have the same thing. We have all these property managers and everybody, and they don't have a location, right? They all
Right.
work from home. They all live on the road. That's their job to get out to their clients.
Who do you work for?
Owners.
$2.
So we own Oxford, right? So all the Oxford guys are always out on the road doing stuff.
Colin Rob.
Raise
Dude.
$2. So $4 total.
Yeah.
Ooh, good money. Good money.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're all being so much more aggressive this time, Chris.
Let's go.
Shouldn't have the first time.
Half the reason I don't like working from home is fucking Holly's always there. Right? It drives me nuts that she's talking on the phone all day. And I find that when I work from home, all I do is I literally go sit at my table and I don't move.
Check.
I do not, I will sit down at 7:30 in the morning and next thing you know, I'll bet $4. I'll literally just, next thing you know, it's like 6 o'clock and I'm sitting there and all that's happened is my son's come home for lunch somewhere along the way and disappeared and I barely paid any attention. So I don't do it enough, you see, to get into this flow of going to get my massage
Check.
and then showing up and then
Other
kind of
missions
thinking
come- other
maybe
missions
I'll
come
work
by.
again and I'll check. I don't have that happening. Oh, look at that. That looks better, Mark.
Is it better?
That looks
Check.
better. I'll check too.
Well, I didn't get the flush, so I have a king.
I got an ace.
According to this, CD wins.
That would be right.
Alright.
Could have won that fair too.
You guys got much going on for Christmas? What's happening?
Early.
Big parties? No?
Christmas.
Food,
Got any
drink,
gift
and-
ideas on what the hell you're supposed to buy your wife? That's all I need to know.
She gets
A mug.
kindling.
We'll CBO gift card.
A Santa mug with chocolate in it.
They're done.
Best gift ever. Mike, you got a gift card handed to you today.
That's
There
what
you
it's
go.
got. I got an
Card?
LCBO gift
Yeah.
card.
Is it still streaming?
So,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oops, sorry, Chris. Yeah, I'm streaming this, I'm streaming it live, but not to a scheduled event. So people would have to be like
really keen.
really keen.
I need one more.
Good shot.
Oh, I need one more.
He's on card.
No.
Oh, okay, just on this one? All in.
I'll call.
Look, give me one.
I think I need another one too, Mark.
Good call. What happened? You call it too, Kev?
I did.
Well, now you're folding for all that.
Give him another card.
Complained and then
Right?
Christmas. All we do at Christmas, play hockey.
We're missing that, I must admit.
Hockey? Yeah, because of the injuries.
Yeah,
That's the first game we played.
I'm not. I'm sick
Just
of
both.
it this year.
yeah, I know.
You're not
I've
playing
had an
anymore?
absolute enough. I am
I
fed
decided
up
not to
this
play
year
this
and
Yeah.
done.
Just too busy.
Last thing I want to do is go to a hockey rink.
Last year things got a little kind of
Might as well.
crazy.
Crazy?
There's some people that are like, I don't know, they think just the scouts are still.
Where were you playing? Here, locally?
Please with me.
Pickup.
Come on. There's only one
Oh,
guy,
yeah, so-
and he shows up sometimes, and we all laugh
What's the
when he
bet?
shows up that you guys aren't
Four.
fighting.
But made it 6?
I remember that guy's name.
I just raised it.
Yeah.
Who is that guy that you always
Yeah,
used
four.
to get in
4.
Just 4.
disagreement
4
with?
to you.
So, got the corn whack.
What do you mean?
Huh?
You bet 4. Oh, 4.
Everybody checked.
Got it.
Mhm.
I got it.
4.
You need a quarterback.
It's because this other, stuff in here.
I call.
And what'd you do? You folded, Chris?
I did.
And then you called, and then Danny called. Oh,
Yeah.
you folded, and then Danny.
I call.
Buddy.
I'll check.
Cliff came up for a few weeks and then fell again and barred
Really?
himself up again.
Call.
Call. Just to see the last game
A
card.
bigger pot here.
5.
But we missed Mark out there with his pink youth stick.
Oh, I got rid of that.
Well, then you should come back out again. Maybe you wouldn't get us fired up.
Call.
Call.
Or check. Oh,
Check.
what?
Check. Sorry.
Check.
There's no bets,
Sorry.
right?
No,
Check, check,
sorry.
check.
Might as well.
10. Shit. What's Robbie gonna do?
Well, fuck it.
Gonna re-raise.
Raising?
20?
Bold. I like it.
20 for you?
Old. Brazen.
I mean 30
You
for
guys. Call and raise you 100.
What?
Oh!
Whoa,
yeah.
turbo.
So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
making 100.
Let's go. Chris told me to go by the throat.
like
Was
that,
that it,
guys?
Chris? By the throat.
Wow.
Well,
110 to you.
I'm not all in.
And he folded at the same time.
Yeah, and he's folded. He folded it, and then raised the card, and now he's folded.
Somebody wins.
It's Christmas. Wow. I guess you got the flush. Or is that what you want us to play?
He's like,
I'm not sure.
shit.
Whoops.
Oh, I forgot to give you the card rankings this time. I know you always want those. He wins every time, and every time he's like, "You got the card rankings?"
Need to make sure it's flush, straight. Which one?
We should start
Flush
playing
deck.
short deck. Short deck switches it around. You take the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s out, and flush and beat full houses.
What?
Yeah.
You remove them from the
You
hand?
take you
Like,
don't you don't play
you're
with
not
52
in.
cards. You play with
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you play with
Heard of
36
that.
cards.
Fuck, you make it too complicated.
Hey, what are you doing?
I barely know how to play this game.
Changes the value.
But I think you need to
Yeah.
do those. I think you
It is up
need
to
to
me.
set this up to be
I'm
able to
just
play
gonna,
blackjack.
do our
Yeah,
show
but
in the
that's
first
what it
place.
You folded?
It's a great hand, but it never wins.
He started with the 10.
I know.
Alright.
You bought the hand.
What happened? Folded?
The
No,
people
he's
at home are very
he's asking
excited
for
about it.
Oh,
advice.
he's asking for his phone and a friend.
Chris is doing the math in his head.
Bold. Really bold. It's bullshit, really.
I think you gotta go.
Call? Did you call him, Robbie?
All in.
All in.
Oh,
Holy.
So how much more does it cost me?
Looks like
How much is your
everything but your
well,
weight?
there's
It
your
looks like.
120, so it's just this much more, right?
Okay.
Which one?
No.
Yeah, it's just 100.
He needed
You put in
120.
100.
I called.
You put in 100. No.
Yeah, it's just 100.
He needed
You put in
120.
100.
I called.
You put in 100.
You put
Yeah,
100.
it's
No, you don't call. It's 120.
No,
It's
120. No, it's 100.
It's 140.
It's not.
140.
Look it. There's 120. There's 120. This is the raise. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think we're saying the same
20.
thing.
Sorry,
I
you're
think we're
right.
saying
Yeah,
exactly
saying the same thing. So how much? How many is that? I don't know.
Not really, but yeah.
That's 20, 40, 60, 66.
30, 40, 50.
The bet is 186.
66?
The bet is 186. It's right here.
Wow.
There.
Still ready to play the next
So you
hand.
call?
Yeah. Pair of sixes.
Oh,
What do you do with it?
fuck.
There are 5s. Two
Two
pairs.
pair.
Two
Pair.
pair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great, that's C41 416.
Wow.
Did it!
What a call, Robin!
Good job,
I
Robbie.
had a good hand, but
It really was Chris, though, not Rob.
Nah, he just needed a little nudge.
The people at home just spilled their beer.
That's good, you see?
that was good.
Veterans feeling like, oh shit, that was a rough.
I knew you were
I had to
full shit.
try.
I knew
I
you
had
were
to
full
try.
shit.
Good effort, Dan.
I had to try. Disappointed I didn't get another 6.
You did.
I was
Six
pissed off if I went off again. Would have pissed off if I lost it again.
Should have known the guy at the sandbar.
Yeah. Okay, what's going on? Small, big? Yeah. All right.
What am I?
Up to your small.
Kev, you started that. Like,
That's that.
none of these guys were raising,
Yeah,
so you
seriously.
called their stuff, right? Then he sits back and goes, oh.
If you hadn't done the 100, I would
Hey
have.
dealer, give me a little piece of chalk there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I got some chalk.
Nice, you need to mark my hash marks
Yeah,
again.
hash marks have worn off me.
To me, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm doing pretty good finding the same spot, but I need to.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Call? Anybody else want to update their chalk?
Sure, I would.
I raised.
You raised?
Yeah, $4 total.
And then you folded, and then you folded.
3 of me.
Yep.
Fold.
So you raised 2.
I raised
Yeah.
2.
I call. I got 1 left. That's all I got.
Oh crap!
That's all I got.
I wasn't paying enough attention.
Why didn't
Put
you
another
just go all
bucket
in?
there.
What are you gonna do with
You don't
one?
want to rush that one.
You don't want to see.
He's full weight him. He's full
Good
weight him.
check. You check the whole way around here.
It's hilarious. Yeah, according to this, you have $1.
Good math.
Robbie!
One check.
I'll check.
I can't bet one, so I'll bet two.
Okay, have you checked?
Oh, I thought you checked. Oh, I thought you tapped.
Holy, somebody's got to get
Yeah, really, eh?
Little
Exciting.
eager. Little eager.
No, I wanted his dollar.
All right. I'm gonna go. Well, we'll get his dollar.
We'll get his $1.
And your pretty dog too.
Now, what do you
Now I
do,
gotta think
Mike?
about it because I
it's
just
like
wanted his dollar.
Look your action.
I wanted his dollar.
Cost you 9 extra to get my $1.
All right.
Colin?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike calls. What's Robbie Bad doing? Colin?
Yeah, like I'm in.
You
For
can
my
call him. You can call him. We have to take.
You gotta split it now.
We have
Let's
to
see if
take-
the algorithm can run.
No, we have to take like $1 from each one and put it over. And then. So that's like there, that's there, that's there.
Huh?
What?
Let's get that set pot.
No. You only had $1 more to put in, and you just took.
Yeah.
You did
Oh,
do that
sorry.
in reverse.
Should be 9.
I'm only
should
gonna
be-
win
uh,
$2.
There should be 9
Yeah.
sitting in
Should be
front
9.
of each of us.
Yeah,
it should be 20
9 and
should be
9.
27.
The side pot should be 27. 27
Yeah,
is the side
20.
pot.
Sorry. I'm drinking now, so fuck you guys.
Jesus. Software would have told you 27 on the left. Or right.
Yeah. See, I'm trying. Trouble is, I'm thinking, and I don't need to. Robbie, what you doing? Chicken?
I go and check.
We know what you're doing. You're all in.
I can't do anything.
I don't really think.
You can't lose twice, bro. You're gonna win. Let him scare you.
Hey, Mike. See you. It's funny, all the tweaking I've done with the lighting in here, it turned out the best lighting was to just take the filters off and point them up and just kind of fill the room with light. It was like, so far it's been the best I've been. Best.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
They're bright, those lights, eh?
Yeah, but before I had them like down on the table and then it was throwing shadows. I wasn't, at least I was getting rid of the face shadows, but then there was casting shadows, so this works the best.
I just called Willard.
What happened? You called?
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
called.
we
Phil.
both called.
Sorry. Dan's on it.
Hey.
Robbie,
Again? Call?
chicken?
Yeah, checking, sorry.
Check.
Wow, let's see what's going
What's the
on.
matter with you
It
guys?
says players are felted, so I guess that means Dan loses.
Dan's
I
out.
lost my pair of 10s.
Pot size of 30 was won by Seed 8.
Whoa.
The pot size of 27 was won by Seed 8. See, there's a
I
27.
don't know.
I pair of
So there.
I don't know.
Wow, you got it all, buddy.
I don't know. Good job.
The song
You got
works
your dollar.
in those complex
No,
scenarios.
I got my dollar.
Where I'm just like,
I thought maybe I thought you had a pair down actually.
you going?
No.
You know you're in trouble when you've written software and it does stuff, and it's like, how the
It's better than you were.
do that? And I'm like,
See, isn't that the ultimate?
but I
That's
wrote
that's
this
true AI
code. I'm
learning right
supposed to
there.
know how this is, why this is doing this. And I get that with the camera angles too, like it'll switch channel, it'll just switch channels and zoom out, and I'm like, that was really cool, but why did you do that? And I have to go back to my logic and like, because it has like different fragments that come into the pipeline, and then it's kind of like a weighting algorithm, and it's just like, oh, if this is the bigger weight, then this is what I do, right? Which is basically ignoring that, right? So it's like, it's a small one. It's very much simpler one. It's not like I'm trying to fold proteins or anything. But But it's just kind of weird because the software's got a little bit of a mind of its own, and it's like,
Oh, it moves over it.
and some of the code is stabilizing. So, so code I wrote like months ago is I've forgotten all about it.
Okay.
It's like, but it works.
No, it's
Yeah.
dead big, dead big. I think of that. Big dead big.
Oh yeah,
Is it still dead?
I don't think you can have it.
You just fill it.
Only the small.
Can you just go
can't have
bypass
it that big. No.
Don't you just bypass it?
Yeah, you just bypass it, right?
Because he's been out already. It wasn't in the middle of doing anything.
That's correct.
I'm asking.
No,
I
that is
don't
correct.
Yeah, so Kevin does or does not put it?
He does.
He does. He's making.
Oh, he does. Okay.
I think if you're just in the middle, if it's
Yeah, if
you're
you
part
go
of
out
it-
on the button, no, if you go out on the big blind or the small blind, then you're either a dead button or a dead small.
Oh, okay. If you're already involved,
yeah,
right?
if you're involved in the whatever.
Yeah, if you're in the middle of the blindage. Yeah, it's right. The bars look cramped over there, Dan.
No, it's alright.
Chris, you're getting good.
It's a good setup, man.
Got a system there.
Hey, Mike. Calls. Guess we should move the blinds up at some point, eh? I have my schedule here, but
You're following the schedule, you're just not following the clock.
That's
Right,
correct.
so-
What say you, Kev? You
I'm
have an option.
oh,
You good?
I'm losing cards.
Mark, so is this the code on this screen? Is this what you're programming in?
Depends. There might be some code up there. What are you looking
You
at?
trying to decipher it or what?
Main
You trying to steal-
activity Java.
You're trying to steal his code.
I was
or
trying to
what?
get
No,
Yeah.
it's just curious. It's on the screen.
You didn't know what deal he was working on, you see over there when he wanted access to that computer.
Doesn't look like Fortran 77 that we learned.
No, it's not. No. Java, JavaScript, mostly.
To be correct, so check.
Let's see if this appears.
Check.
Right, so it knows I'm out.
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't?
I actually sat you out.
I'll bet the
you
$2.
killed me.
I killed you. It said, "Hey, there's a guy that has no chips. What do you want to do about
What do you
it?"
want to
and I
do?
said, "Get rid of him." You bet two.
I bet $2.
Then you called.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it thinks.
See, I was gonna say, where's the other card?
Well, so some
It's missing it.
Yeah, there's a bit of an interesting timing thing where if I pull cards in across this reader at the wrong time, it thinks it's actually a card from the next hand, from the next hand. So it says I don't want to show this card because I think it could be a player card. But technically, when I say no, it's this card, then
It should flip.
it should take it. Yeah, so it's Jack of Spades. I think it's Jack of Spades.
Hold it,
in
Mark.
someone's hand.
And
Yeah. So what happened here?
I bet 4 he called.
And then Darren folded.
Yeah.
no, I didn't notice. Did it rotate players?
I checked.
Does it automatically?
Yeah. See this
Nothing.
little like circle
I
there?
have nothing on that.
Oh.
So you checked. So I checked. And then
Right, and
over
it
here.
goes. It knows.
Jack knows that he's the next
Right,
guy.
and it knows Chris is out.
It knows
Yes.
it's, yeah. And you bet 10, did you?
Yeah.
I think that's the first time he's actually opened action.
16 years. 16 years. About the same for you got it.
Or I'm like 13, I think.
Yeah. Pretty close,
Right?
No, well, last game,
Not that
Air
bad.
2s took me down.
Oh yeah.
Last
That's
time.
it.
Oh, I
That's right, you
paired
got
games.
crushed. Yeah, you crushed at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
Ducks-
I'm
the
gonna
ducks
call
rock,
the
yeah.
call the 10 and see what happens. I was
So
chasing,
now
I
it's
don't
saying,
know
okay,
if I
now
got
we're
it.
gonna do a showdown.
Confirm all actions. No, what's
Yeah.
it doing
So
here?
I'm
Why did it
now,
do that?
now it's actually gonna say
I got
it's gonna
jacks.
say
I
it
was
knows.
trying to trace that
cards are.
straight, but anyway,
So it's saying it's
he wins.
42.
He won.
1 by
2.
6. Yeah.
2, see, 1,
So it
see,
knows.
2, whatever it is.
Because it knows what's up here.
Yeah. No, it should, and that's where I was looking at. But it's good. You got good response there. Like it's
That was a-
instantaneous.
Yeah, that was a lot of fucking work and all that hand education. It's kind of absolutely necessary.
Okay, so now
Yeah, so now it's
Where's the
automatically
$3 pot coming from?
because it's moved the button.
Yep.
It's moved the button. The button was there, then it moved it here.
Where's the button?
Where's the button?
Oh, we're getting scooped over here.
It's over at Derek, and then it said, okay, small blind, big blind. So
Where's it saying that?
small blind is 1 and big blind is 2. So that's the pot for 3.
Oh, got it. So you know how you said you missed out on the timer here?
Oh, Kevin's,
Yeah.
On the
Kevin's
raises,
in
can you
it.
program the raises by
Kevin
timing
did it?
there?
Yes,
He's
you
small.
can actually.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could put 15
he just
minutes
said
and the
small and
system
big,
should
though.
go,
No,
okay
he's
guys, we're
That's
too
on,
far.
that's on the roadmap. Yeah, that's in
Right,
that.
like you wouldn't need any.
You can actually
No, he
build
said
a
I-
structure
small and
and
big.
feed
He's
the
saying
structure
I was
into the
big.
system.
Right.
And
She
it'll
was
do
big
it.
the last time.
Quantity would be at the
Clock would be in there,
Yeah,
building
yeah,
structure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mark
Just
was saying something
Yeah.
different.
That's on the roadmap to do, but
Write it down as a bug.
I was gonna say that's a bug. Yeah,
it's not really a bug. It's just a feature.
that's a simple feature.
No, I'm saying that you
No,
didn't know where the button
That's a
was.
good
Move it in.
Well, go ahead and code it up for me then if
I
it's
like
simple.
that. I don't know how to do
Get her
it.
done.
Get her done.
No, but I'm impressed at the speed of how quickly it's reacting. Like you have
It's
no
almost like
delay
it's
on the tablet. Has it always been that fast?
Almost like it's moving at the speed of light.
No, but has it always been that response time? Like Christ, my Apple. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is
This is, you know what
fast?
this is? This is a $60 Amazon Fire tablet. Like, so they're new. Yeah, they're cheap. They're nothing really special. They're like, I mean, but the thing is, CPUs are so fucking fast now. Like, they're really fast. Yeah, I think this has a Snapdragon.
Hey, Peter boy.
Go, come on.
We're waiting for you, man.
Oh, what are you waiting for me for? I'm talking to Dan.
I know.
Oh, watch how it works, this little contraption.
We'll just watch.
Don't slow down in the game, Holmes. Okay, hit the electrical currents. Zaps is zaps. They get out of hand. Push the button. It's the other thing you gotta
To see
program.
when their cards get picked up, they pop up.
Oh yeah, where did?
So they all went to white when their cards picked up. We haven't picked Kevin's up yet, so he moves his cards. Just give your cards a shake there, Kev. Back and forth. Back and forth. No, yeah.
There we go.
And then it says, okay, small blind, big blind.
And Moneybags here is Rob at $3.92.
Yeah.
He's the lead
Wow.
right now.
Yeah, and actions on Jay.
I fold.
And you see, I could
Small
do
blind.
even more on it. Like, but it's
We
been
may
a
change for
real
you,
exercise in
small
just
blind.
UX, just getting this dialed in. So
Pretty intuitive. It's pretty simple.
There you
I'm in
I'm
at
sitting
4.
here. But for that client,
I know, that's the thing.
I was going to go this
Exactly.
and then.
that hard.
it's
jumped
more.
in.
It's like a
more of
teenage
just-
No,
you bet-
but I appreciate
What
it.
happened?
I-
You folded,
I
and then
folded.
you bet 4?
I went
You
in
bet-
early.
You bet 4?
For some reason, you were sitting back like that, and I didn't think you were playing.
Derek bet 4,
I
then you
wasn't.
call? Then you call? And then you call?
Yeah. Hang on. As soon as you hit the table, it picked it up.
Oh yeah, it's pretty snap. No electronic devices at the table. Actually,
What happened now?
it's on you, buddy. Pot 16. The 5 and 2 6s up here.
Well, now you
No, it's
fucking
me.
need 2 6s
Yeah,
when I had 2
okay.
6s sitting over there.
I checked too. We
Check,
both-
check.
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 I'll check.
Yawn boy. Check.
That's my bedtime.
We're yawning at the
Oh,
poker
fuck.
table, buddy.
It's way past
You need some bacon.
Oh, you're kidding.
We were supposed to do shots every
It's the
time
lack
the
of
blinds
bacon.
went up.
It's the lack of bacon.
The lack of bacon.
Kev.
I had a 3-4. I will go 6. No,
Drink
yes,
this
6.
Oh, is
Big
that a
one.
tell? Is that a tell?
I don't know if it is.
What is 2 6s up here?
Oh. I think.
I didn't get it either. Now that you pointed out, though. Hold on.
Well, now that I know
How can Chris have a 6 if I already got 2 in my hand?
Oh, it's to me.
I don't think professional dealers act this way. Pretty sure
I'm
they
gonna
don't.
check.
Is there garbage in here?
My glasses.
Yeah, over behind my desk there.
Too rich.
you're off, Chris.
Oh.
There's water in the cooler back there.
Yeah, there's water there. There's water at the back too.
Can you grab me 1, 2, please, Rob?
Looking for what?
For water?
So my big now.
Yeah.
What can I throw this, Mark?
You
Thanks.
guys got-
We're saying you work hard late tonight.
No, it's just
You can put it here for now, just put it on the table for
the
you.
smell. They're just not trying to do it on the phone the first time. Like I said, it was just.
Oh, this is delayed. Okay. No,
Three
sorry.
minutes back.
I know.
Or about
Because I'm checking their
The
hands.
original offer.
Who won that last one?
Yeah.
They won?
The new price. No, it's
Queen's
hard to
take
do
the
on
last
phone.
hand? Jason, did you
Wasn't
win?
working.
No.
So
Should've just done
Uh,
it.
Queens?
No, I won that one.
Yeah, the Queens.
Yeah, I won that
So
one.
you're more than a minute back. Okay.
No, no, it's
3
like,
minutes.
it's like three. It's at least 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard to build in that delay instead of having?
Well, once you, the trick is getting the pipeline. Once you build the pipeline,
That's mine.
right? Yep. Once you have the pipeline, then yeah, you can. You need the pipeline for the AI. So basically, it's just a queue. Once I'm queuing shit up, then I can.
he
just,
still needs a card though.
Then I can just say, you know, don't let anything off the queue. Ahead of here, and then I can just move that marker. So if I want, you know, Playground ever gets around to actually going live, they need 20 minutes. Then I just set it for 20 minutes. It's actually not minutes; it's segments because I produce things in segments, and it's the segment that's configurable, which right now is 30 seconds. So what happened?
Check call.
Oh, you know what's going on here. Oh, I didn't get Rob's card. I can actually.
Are the blinds going up soon, or?
So you called?
Call,
Fold.
call.
Call. Yeah, we'll make them. We'll go up, put them up next. What'd you do?
I called.
I'll call.
Short answer is no. Not after you. Once you get all the other shit in place. But we're literally doing the work of like a crew of 10 people for PokerGo or more.
And do you buy the cards with the RFID in them?
Yeah, and then I index them to my system for like $90 a deck. What happened?
No,
I have
you
you
didn't bet there, did you?
No,
no,
he
was just collecting
Sorry,
chips.
it's the
Got actually
Oh, is it to me?
Yeah.
I check.
Check.
4.
College. Foldage.
I fold too.
Cool.
Well, clearly somebody else sees an advantage in your concept, Mark. If they keep making RFID cards and improving how
Oh, yeah.
thick they are and making the cards better,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
You bet 4?
Yeah, what are the other people doing with these? Same sort of thing, but
Yeah.
yeah.
They have competition, but like I said, they're not really using. They're not. There's a mix.
Cameras.
They're
There's a
using it to
mix.
cheat at.
Oh, just
Yeah.
cheating? Okay. Makes sense.
You called?
I did. Yeah. Sorry. I would
Okay.
make that
They got a
announcement.
big RFID reader sitting up in the stands and they're pointing
Yeah,
it down
they
on
won't.
the table.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
work.
they're-
RFID doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Well, NFC doesn't work.
Oh, but at a home game, you could.
Having your knees or something.
Yeah, you know.
You say there, buddy?
Up to you. I'll check.
No one ever want to pop by checking, Derek.
Aggressive.
Good bluff, buddy.
Lines are up.
Yep, lines are up. Let's do that. So here's what I want to do blinds now. See, like you're saying, if we
Yeah,
had a system
The timer would
automatically drive
it,
that.
yeah.
So instead, I'm gonna make it 2.5. Last time I made it 20 and 50. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I just dialed it in like that. And then you have antes too, right? So you can set antes. And there's a new thing in poker now where they instead of, you know, how we would do tournaments with antes and everyone would have to put in because everyone would pay the ante.
No,
Now they
please.
just have like, either the button or the big blind pay the ante for the whole table.
Oh.
So it really changes the game, but also speeds up the game. So.
Where's the other?
But, no, I have to reset the button. But where was it?
It was here.
Yeah, so then it's on like
Where's the blinds? I don't know what they're.
2 and 5, 2 and 5.
2 and 5.
Why didn't you get 2 and 4?
I don't know.
I know I asked that last time, but I didn't get an answer, so I thought I'd ask that.
Same answer.
I might
He
ask the
doesn't
next
know.
time
He likes 5 when he's
Because I'll tell you why. Because I didn't want to give you guys the pain of an ante, but I wanted to bump it, and then the next one goes from 2 to 5 goes to 5-10.
Is that good enough, Kev? Is that
Why
good?
not 2.5? 5.
Yeah.
We have like a, we get a green chip that's worth
Yeah.
50 cents.
Exactly. Jason, you're welcome to come on.
Ooh, that was fancy.
Oh, you don't need when Kevin's not here? Oh, thanks.
Put the barrel on there.
Yeah, I get everybody. Everyone's getting good. You're all so good. Robbie,
Oh,
say you, buddy.
Oh, it's 5
Oh,
is better.
5.
I mean, I was going
We
like this.
went over there.
Oh, yeah.
Dudes, why are you not picking up? What's happening?
It's good dad looking over your shoulder.
Last few have been instantaneous. As soon as they hit the mat, they've come up on the screen.
Yeah, it's weird.
Does static have anything to do with this stuff?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Now let's do these guys, man.
Check.
Check.
Okay, hold on a second here.
Who's got the check?
It's up to you.
He said, hold on. I'm supposed to behave.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, you built in the manual override.
He is an override.
I don't know what happened. Okay, so
Everybody's checked
Check.
to me.
It's at Mike.
Check.
It's at Mike
Mike.
for the bet or check or fold or.
Go home.
I'll check.
Alright.
Alright.
See if it picks the next card up.
So flip.
something messed up there. I'm not sure why that happened. I think we lost the. Did we lose the reader? Seems. Oh, it's saying expecting a flop.
Behind that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be upside down or upside. Yeah, we can read it either way, right? It's irrelevant.
Well, now it's got it. So what happened? Check, 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 check. Okay, something's wrong.
There's too many people streaming this one, watching it.
Trying to serve it.
Want to move it? Want you fiddle?
Kevin, did you say you guys, your firm is like the sole selling agent of this place?
They're working with a couple other ones. They're giving us 100 units in there.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
I reset.
what'd you do?
The other thing, they're
Oh, you reset it, so
20
we found
units. They're giving us a bonus of
About
1 year guaranteed rent and 2 years of property management included in that in the purchase price.
It's weird.
They're working with another brokerage out of Brampton for some units as well.
Dirk?
What am I doing here? This is a bet here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ten?
5.
Doesn't matter.
What am I folding to?
10 is not going to make any difference.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
The table's
There we
still
go.
today.
Yeah, that came as soon as you hit it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not coming this end anymore.
Yeah, it did whatever.
Back to the red.
Reset.
Weird. 5-5?
It is, I'm telling you, the red
And a
cards.
call?
You guys gotta switch decks.
You like the red ones better, right? You got
Red
red
ones,
ones.
wow.
red ones have definitely helped me better.
Trying to slope
Pair
like
aces?
that, but everybody left.
Is that the pair of aces?
Yeah.
Finally, my pair twos can take me down. I feel better.
Winner, winner.
Chicken dinner.
get mine? Sorry.
Oh, good.
You gotta make it tighter here somehow.
This isn't me. Or
Does
was it rotate him?
That felt like a good card.
You know what? It just screwed up his reader. That's what he did the last time too.
Maybe.
Because we wrote to slide the cards across the reader,
Yeah,
and
now
then
everybody has it.
now everybody has
They
their
all
own
have their own
cards.
cards.
It won't.
Doesn't impact my actual cards though, so
Yeah, it doesn't.
It only
Didn't
impacts-
actually change your cards.
it only impacts the digital part. So can I have that other card back?
To me?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Wait, what?
No.
Chicken?
The playground table actually have a switch. So they can switch. Whereas I had to go in and flip that.
Oh,
To reboot him?
No, it's me.
That's what's
You
happening.
again.
Yeah.
Check. Check.
I'll check.
well, it's getting a lot of
Software.
use.
That's software. Fuck who knows.
Check.
Beyond, the software's a lot better than what it is.
Hmm?
Software's a lot better.
The software.
Generally software, yeah. Like think when we used to build
yeah,
software and the OS was crashing half
happened?
the time and the
You bet.
kernels would
5?
run down
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you'd have
yeah.
memory leaks and like, you couldn't figure out if it was your software or whether or not it was
Sure.
the operating platform.
Was it bet 5? 10. You bet 10?
I bet 5. You put in 10.
Oh.
And
He's calling.
Okay. Full call. Is that what happened? Good. Full call. Must be the case. Rob doesn't have cards. And then you threw your 5. Is that what happened?
Not at all.
No. Well, I only saw 10 there. I saw 15 there. So I was like,
20.
It just hadn't been pulled in earlier.
right. I did that wrong. Okay. Right. 5, 10. Called 5.
Yeah. There you go.
Just messes up your chip count stacks.
Yeah. I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, that's why the next is the chips, and then we'll just stack them all in their own little position, and it'll count them.
Yeah, like I think there's a new like tag reader technology out.
I'm gonna head, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna call it.
All right.
Are you behind?
Merry Christmas and
so
Happy
now
New Year, all of you. I
Are
need
you
you.
going to be able to get out, or do we need to?
Yeah, do I have to move?
Yeah.
Then you can get out.
I pulled in behind somebody too.
I'm at the back, boys. Sorry.
I'm not going.
I'm right here.
The first one.
Well,
I think I'm in the way because I'm half blocking the driveway. So
Take a break.
let me pull ahead and
Sorry, guys.
get out of your guys' way.
Valet break.
Because I only know how to get to Mark's house up the wrong way. It's a one-way street, so.
Mark, thank you.
yeah, Dan, thanks for coming out, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Have a nice Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody. Have a
Good
good
night.
holiday. Enjoy.
Good to see you.
Take care, guys. Take
Take
care.
care.
Say every time, Robbie.
Yes, yeah,
See you, Rob.
Take care, bud.
Coming
There.
it helps me out a lot to have some thumbs and seats.
You're not a Jeep.
Nope. Up right here.
There's a few new condos going up in the Port Credit area.
Yeah.
There's a really nice big property that they're developing. They haven't come out with the actual condos yet, or whatever it's going to be, but it's right on the lake. Huge property.
Is that where they were? Because didn't they finally get approval for that the land that was contaminated there?
That could be what that land
Yeah.
is there.
Because that was
Referring to.
it sat there for so long. And they finally got approval for that. It's a big chunk of land.
Yeah.
That stretch has changed so much, eh? With like there used to be like 5 or 6 car dealerships and they're all gone.
Yeah.
So weird. It's so sad, like when they, like a big GM dealership when it closed down, they just sat there mothballed like vacant. It was like weird to see it. And a bunch of them are gone. And then you see like the big Audi dealerships and that, like I guess they're just making so much money, right? You see the one up on the 401 at the DVP.
Oh, that one.
When they were building it, looked like it was going to be a parking garage. It's
6 stories, yeah.
Yeah, it's the size of a small condo project, right? It's just a car dealership.
I'm sure those elevators freaking cost a shitload.
What's that?
The elevators that go up and down that one.
Well, no, it's actually
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like a car park. When they were building it, you could see.
Oh,
now
yeah.
that it's platted, you can't really see. But it was like the BMW dealership on the DVP, and there's another Audi dealership there. I mean, that's weird. It's so big.
But I think they're a lot more consolidating, right? Like it's only a few that it's go big or go home. Basically, like, they're buying each other out and done.
Yeah.
But they're going to go to shit soon too, actually.
Dealerships?
Yep.
Yeah. People just buy online.
Well, they're not going to buy cars at all.
No.
Soon enough, cars are gone. All the cars are going to be all electric. It's going to be all driverless and they kind of the Uber concept and like the.
It would be shocking how fast that happens, right?
It's not happening now, man.
No, I know, but I still like to drive my car.
Oh, I agree.
You know what I mean? And so, but our kids, well, like I have a 24-year-old son, and I had to literally drive him to the driver's license place to get his G1 or whatever, and I don't even think that was 4 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's probably lapsed now. So they have no interest in driving.
Yeah. My guy does actually for whatever reason.
Yeah. Where do you live though? Like maybe it's
Oakville.
like in the burbs or
Yeah.
not as walkable maybe or something.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is weird in one generation how they'll go from like. So what'll happen to the classic cars that are worth a bunch of money? Are they going to become?
That's a good question. That's one of our clients too. Is RM Sotheby's. They used to be RM auctions. They have like $24 million like cars.
Like Barrett Jackson. Right?
We've had a few over the years, not my family, but my
Right.
dad.
More.
They have auctions. They have them on both sides. The buyers and sellers.
Yeah, so they're going in and out because they're going all the old
Barrett Jackson.
roads and stuff. You have to cross ponds and everything.
So they got the clearance.
Yeah,
Snorkels. Car snorkels.
You just drive through.
There you go, you're on camera.
There we are. Trying to figure it out.
Yeah. They give the
Camera has
snorkels
10
on
pounds,
and
don't
drive
worry,
through.
don't worry.
Oh, jeez. So it's beer.
I would suggest my dad's didn't really have snorkels, they just had exhaust pipes that
Alright, who's dealing?
were welded on to run straight up in the air to be able to.
dealer's there, yeah.
But they'll go anywhere. We had,
yeah.
we had an international scout that my dad still has, so it keeps it maintained, keeps it in the barn.
Did that have a leaf springs on it?
My game break thing
I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't remember.
Kevin bought my first Jeep.
Oh, okay. I don't think
No.
You did.
What?
My first Jeep I ever had. You
Everything changed.
Oh, you got it from you.
That's how I'm dropping away.
I wasn't using it.
Get ready?
My dad was an old international scout and he uses it for his like workhorse vehicle when he needs to drag stuff around.
Alright, those things
You got
It's
the
a
new
tank.
are
rims.
bulletproof. Yeah.
It's a tank.
What's
You've
that?
got the new rims, so you can lower the pressure down to nothing. You've got the rims with all the bolts on them.
Oh, I think they're just for show.
Oh, they're not really like that? No.
Have you seen the Trailblazer ones?
What's going
The
on?
ones that are like 120 grand with the supercharger and everything.
Oh yeah, I saw that on
It's the same thing.
Shop Gear, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a production line vehicle.
College. Calvin College.
Yeah, they're not bead lockers. That's
Bead lockers, that's it.
No,
They're not bead lockers.
Ricky Thompson's and bead lockers. Drop them on.
Why do you have a Jeep too?
My dad has a couple in his place.
That's mine?
Yeah.
I'll check for that.
Check.
Check.
Guess I don't remember what my cards are. I'll check. I keep looking at them, but I don't know what the hell they are.
Cool.
Did I sell the CD radio with that old Jeep?
I have no idea.
Well,
Do you still have the CD? I
No, I'm trying to figure out where it went.
don't know. You probably did.
It's probably in your garage somewhere.
No, I already moved. And I moved myself because I was in school, so I said, I'll save money. I'm 45 years old.
I could use a Jeep. I like working on them.
Jeeps are fun.
It's how I
I
got
like,
my
I like
wife
working on them. I work on them. My cars
They are
all the
pretty easy to
time.
work on. Like they're.
Yeah, that's what I
You
mean.
just
That's
get your
what I know
hands
they
in there.
are.
You can get your hands in the hood and you
I
can
used to-
slide
I
underneath.
bought a
Robbie
full
wins?
suspension system off of a Rubicon, which is
Fine.
just good for, I did the whole, all the shocks and things, like my drivers. Super easy to work with.
Yeah,
And
they
you're
are
really
easy
good
to
at
work on.
finding the parts.
Mm.
And you what'd you do to your back door? Like, I want to see what you got. Did you get one?
What did you
with-
fix your back door in?
I got it's a Terraflex.
Said pardon? What?
It's a, well, the heavier tire was like,
Yeah, you were saying you've been talking about.
yeah, so I bought, yeah, actually when I left here, I went and picked it up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
can put my air top on. It's just like a super heavy duty hinge and tire mount. So now when you close the back door, it goes thunk. instead of-
Yeah, not like you're hoisting
And when
it
you're
up.
driving, you hit bumps, you probably
yeah.
hear it too,
oh
right?
my god, it was so brutal. I hated every bump I went over, the whole back of the Jeep.
5 cut. Your big blood.
Yeah, it's like a whole new thing now.
Do you have
Makes
bigger
one less
tires?
weight.
Is that why it's heavier?
Yeah,
You have 32s or?
I think they're 33s, but the rims are heavier too. Like everything, but it also was sitting off the little standoff, so all the weight was just on the thing. And it's just sheet metal, right? If you have the handle hard enough, you can, like, it's a terrible design.
That's why you can buy lots of parts for them.
Yeah, it is.
Because you can.
Well, the funny thing is that for 10 years, it's the exact same car, right? Like my top is a 2014, right? Like,
Yeah.
You have an option kit. Can raise it.
no,
Yeah, if you're a designer for Chrysler and you work on Jeep, it's just like, I don't know, let's give a gray top this year instead of a black one. Like you don't
Yeah.
mess with it because they want to put it together like Lego.
Derek!
I will check. 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 I'm at 10.
No?
Yeah. First time my pot grew. All game week.
Connor took off the brakes when I was changing the rotors.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Muay Thai now or something too?
Yeah, he's not doing the velodrome this year. He's doing the Muay Thai, and it's like one of the best in Canada. Like they won all the awards. There's a guy that just moved to Scarborough, and he comes back to Milton 2-3 times a week to train at this place, and it's right up the road. And me, Lori, and Connor for $200 a month have Muay Thai
Alright.
like 2 minutes from our house,
Oh, cool.
like 5 times a week.
And he's like,
I have no idea what that is.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
It's that
Like
one where
kickboxing.
it's all
Concussion.
knees and elbows.
That's where you get the concussion.
Okay.
It's
pretty
brutal.
yeah.
Pretty brutal.
it's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something, isn't it?
No, it's
No, Muay Thai is.
it's all
Knees
knees and
and
elbows. So
You're allowed to grab, right? So it's like
You will get-
kickboxing,
you
but
will
you
get
can
Muay Thai
grab, right?
fighters in
That's
MMA.
and you can throw elbows, which you can't do in kickboxing. Yeah, there's a lot of Muay Thai. You can watch it on TV.
Yeah.
It's like a big ceremony to it if you watch it when they're broadcasting
Yeah.
it out of like Indonesia and places. They got the headsets and the
it's Philippines
headdresses.
or
and-
Thailand or something.
Yeah,
It's
Thailand, yeah.
Thailand. That's it.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Like it's don't get in a fight with a Muay Thai guy because it's knees and elbows. It's
The hard parts.
You have an option.
yeah, it's all the stuff you don't.
Don't get in a
No
fight with
squishy
anybody.
places.
That's the easier way.
Yeah, we're old now.
You raising it?
Yeah,
To what?
I just raised it by 5.
It's a good workout though.
Yeah. I've been doing a little bit of Kenpo, which is part of the P90X workout.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of like karate, I guess, but it's, I don't know, it's interesting. So I'm curious about this one. Is it a good workout?
Oh, it's well, like think of your abs if you're bringing up your knees for every strike, right? So it's a fantastic workout. Check. Is it me?
It's on
Oh, sorry. It's a, and also like if there's heavy bags everywhere, so if you work out with a heavy bag, you're using every muscle on your body, right? Did you check? Check.
$5. $5. $5.
$5. $5.
Like
$5.
a pizza?
Little Caesars.
Yeah, that's true. But the Domino's are that, didn't they? Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut, that's right. Yeah, I know where pizza from pizza.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things that I miss because I love pizza.
See, I still, I eat, I can eat, I just eat whatever I want. I just don't eat very much. I eat like once a day, pretty much.
That's not really good.
Yeah,
I skip breakfast. And
That's not good.
pretty much don't eat until I have to eat. I drink a lot of water, drink more coffee.
Is it to me?
That's actually bad for you, though, right?
Well, it's bad.
I
That's
lost
it.
25
Oh, now
pounds.
they,
Yeah, it must be. I'm still dealer, right? Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, I think it's to you. Yeah.
I don't know. Why is it bad for me?
Nice old.
That's what they say.
I'm just dieting, right? Just taking, I'm eating less.
Just
fewer
less calories.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. Some of my buddies are doing that too, and like guys that I respect that are like really know what they're doing. It's called mini fasting or whatever. There's
Yeah.
different things to do, but one of the theories is that you only eat for like 8 hours a day. So some guys will, one guy like only eats from like noon till 8. Then he won't even have a glass of water after 8 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
then it makes your body go to the fat cells, right? When you fast, it goes to the fat cells, so it's burning the stored energies.
Yeah, I think it's.
But they also say,
No, it's
but
on
you
you.
but your metabolism slows down because of that, though, too.
Yeah, but if you go and read all those
you
studies,
need to-
those metabolism adjustments are so small
I don't
that it makes absolutely no difference in the end.
Check.
Like all you're doing, right, is you're managing your calorie intake.
Pair of pants,
Yeah,
base.
yeah.
And you're doing it on a path
Me too.
that allows you to try
Guys,
and not
split
get
it up
hungry in
with the
between,
knees.
so
Yeah,
you
you gotta
don't
split it up.
take in
Right,
too
right,
much
right.
food,
You know,
right?
I
Like,
had
so
a-
you
I
don't
had
like
these.
you don't
I have the
not
nine.
eat all day
I'm so glad
and
I
have
said
4,000 calories at
Exactly.
dinner because you feel like you're starving.
Yeah.
You're
I
trying
figured
to
someone had
support your willpower by
Yes.
eating in smaller amounts because I've heard them all. You know, you're gonna eat 4 almonds. You're gonna eat every 20 minutes. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. But at the end, you're still taking the same calories. It's just trying to stay full in that time,
Yeah.
so your willpower doesn't go.
Yeah.
If you can do it like Mark's doing and only eat
If it
1,000
works,
2,000
yeah.
calorie meal a day,
As long as I stay busy, then I'm fine. As soon as
Mark
I
seems like a
go
homeless
idle, I'm
guy.
like, gotta eat.
yeah.
Hey, Mark,
What?
you eat like a homeless guy.
Pretty much.
Whatever food comes your way,
Pretty much.
comes to you.
I'm not too far from that.
In fact, the homeless guys in downtown Toronto are doing all right. I can tell you, 'cause
Probably
there's not
better-
many
they probably
skinny. There's not
better
many
than me.
skinny ones of those guys walking around.
No skinny raccoons.
The only skinny ones around there are the meth addicts.
Who's bonding where?
2, 5.
No, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah, watch Derek Yard and get tired.
I'm on the delay, probably. You saw me.
Oops.
You're
The
gonna
old
be too
days
many
ago,
carbs.
just gone, eh?
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I'll take 3, but
Chris, Colin?
Yeah, I'll call.
what's happened now. Card over that reader.
What?
No,
Well, I'm just not
flop
getting my
or
flop
the-
again. I think
the
I
muck cards.
took a card over the reader and. I wonder.
Was it wait for 3 cards? Is that why?
No, I'm just wondering. I don't want to debug it now, but it seems weird that it says expecting a flop. But when I give it the flop, it's not reading it. Just try to reset now.
Reset worked the last.
Is that because you're putting the other cards through there?
Well, it's supposed to handle that. It's supposed to know, but it could be a bug or something. I don't know.
We just need a reboot.
It's weird.
But I think it's related to the card that got mucked across. I think.
It's me. Check.
Sure.
Check.
Go for 10.
10.
I got my stepfather's hockey equipment last time in Ottawa, so now I got no excuse not to start playing hockey.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Except that I'm old.
That's an excuse.
You check, but you put $10 in.
Sorry. Wrong term or not?
No.
Yeah, that's why you can't.
I'm on the ice.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see you.
Check. Yeah.
Last year I was training for my triathlon, and we had I coached my kids hockey too, and I thought, these are 9-year-old kids, I'll be out and I'll be fine. I just did a triathlon. It's like, man, it's a whole different type of thing, right? Because it's sprinting and stuff. It's not 2 hours and stuff. It's like sprint, and it's funny, all the dads are like, change. It's like, you just got on, forget it. Like we're fighting to stay on the bench.
Call. Or check.
I was out with my daughter today they were on the ice from 9 a.m. to 1:15. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. How old?
9. 9
Oh.
years old.
9 years old.
Yeah.
Why are they on the ice for 4 hours?
It was actually a clinic
Apparently
for
C4 wins.
kids that have never played hockey before.
C4.
So the kids on the team that I'm
C4?
coaching,
I pair
there's
aces.
5 of
22.
them that haven't played, so they have to go to this clinic according to the TDSB. On this
Yeah, so that must be related. Yeah, so you win, obviously.
Because it picked up the muck
They did
cards.
pretty well
Is it
considering
seeing
a lot
those cards? Is it
some
seeing
of
the
the
same
other
cards
kids
we're
from other
seeing?
schools had
Yeah,
never
I don't
ever
think it is.
skated.
And they were on the ice for 4 hours?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because like you don't even have the
like
muscles. Like just your ankles and like just stabilizing yourself, your legs would be shaking after a couple
It's a long
hours.
time for kids getting started.
Yeah, I got
And
double check
falling over,
that.
too.
There's a bit of
That's-
code
yeah.
out there.
One kid said, I wish there was some padding in my bum. I've fallen so many times.
That's what hockey pants are.
Yeah, seriously. So is that buttons right there on Mike?
Yeah.
And they got no fat, like especially the little kids. Like there's no fat in their bum, so it's
Yeah.
just bone on the skin, right?
Yeah.
2.
My two are on the ice so much. Like so much. It's dumb. Like they both have 2 2-hour practices a week.
2 hours.
Yeah.
That is
An hour and 50 minutes. So
It's like a job.
they have 2 of them. They both do at least 5 days a week. That's just their
Wow.
team schedules. My daughter's a 6. Because they have an extra development skate in the week. So 2 games and 3
And you gotta fit 5 in
practices.
there somehow.
And they have another one. It's dumb. I'm tired of it.
They better be in good shape. All that.
They're little machines. They see, if they miss a day, then they're like bonkers because they're so used to
Oh,
it.
Mike?
No, just move your card.
Oh, sorry. No,
It's on you too.
It's too many people talking.
I wish mine were just getting started instead of playing so much.
Checking.
But they do like playing hockey. Yours like playing hockey? Like my kids love playing hockey.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Like that's all they want to do. If you gave them the choice and said, you know, hey, do you want to go to your soccer practice or your hockey game, right? Like, or your soccer game or your hockey practice, like they would give up everything to go play their hockey practice or hockey game. It's they don't even think about it. They watch hockey, they play hockey video games.
Raisin?
10.
They make their dad talk about hockey when
Well, that's what happens. All you ever do is talk about hockey.
yeah, what else?
I can walk into any rink from Whitby to Hamilton, and I'm gonna know at least half the people that are there.
You know the menu?
And
You know where the good coffee,
Yeah.
coffee is.
You know where the ones that have the expensive coffee, where you gotta go to Tim Hortons. You know where it's every Thursday night I have my hot dog at Iceland.
Yeah. Oh no, Iceland.
Iceland,
That's,
yeah.
Hershey's.
Yeah, that's their home rink. So every Thursday I have my.
Hi, Mike.
That's a shitload of coffee came here too, actually.
Yeah.
That whole first time
Yeah. It's can be difficult to get to. Not so bad. Like we have to go to Vaughan, we got to go to Scarborough. We like Markham. Like so, you're going. You got to remember, I live southwest corner of Mississauga. Right? I live right by you. So to try and get to Vaughan for a 7 o'clock game.
407, buddy.
That's why you think 407.
5 into 85.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We live on.
No choice.
We live on the. We live on 407.
But getting to Iceland, do you go to Iceland during the week? Because we just lived down from there. We had games. It took 40 minutes to get. You could bike there in 10 minutes from our house. And
But
I got Easties, we got twos.
Right? And,
Yeah.
That was like exactly.
well, there's so many arenas there too.
Yeah.
Like and then rush hour.
Yeah, that rush hour was.
Yeah.
I got that.
The worst one for me is Chick Murray, if we ever have to go there. We don't go there anymore, luckily, but Chick Murray is bad from our side because it's Burnham Thorpe and Dixie, right? Burnham Thorpe and Cawthra, so it's on the other side of the city, so that one's painful. The valleys. So luckily now most of the teams are playing out of Iceland. Playing at Iceland, Paramount, except the Vaughan teams. They play that stupid Vaughan Sportsplex.
Yeah, that is stupid.
And we have to go to Scotiabank Pond, which is another one of the biggest.
Oh, not bad.
So
Scotiabank
Pond at Downsview. On Monday night for 6:30.
Yeah, my guy played for the Residents, right?
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
So, I was there.
Because I got one. I got one that plays for the Jets and one that plays for the Senators, right? So it's like painful. Painful.
We used to be in the NHL, and then we moved to Milton.
Yeah.
And it's so tiny. We had to switch to the OHL, and it was like buying a house. Like all the paperwork, letters had to go to the principal. Like we're not faking to join. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
But all the games are at one
rules.
arena. All the practices are at
the
one
Milton,
arena.
at the Milton
At the
main
Milton
arena there,
Sportsplex, yeah.
Sportsplex.
There's no driving. It's amazing.
See, we don't really play that way that much. We mainly do exhibition games, so we go to Burlington to play against the Cougars and the Eagles, and we go to Hamilton to play against them. Because what happens is it's actually easier for us to go to those places to play exhibition games because their ice time's half the cost.
Right.
So the impact on the budget, like it used to be you do it like a home and home, one there, one here, but it doesn't make any sense because OMA referees are cheaper.
Yeah.
For one, so it's like $15 less per game for the referees. Plus the ice time's a lot cheaper, so you can get there.
Hi, dog.
But now all these teams are having to change their names, so.
Oh, no midgets, you mean?
No, well, no, the Human Rights Commission found that, no one can use the Blackhawks logo anymore for their sports teams in Ontario. Right. So like the Reps have to change their logo because they use the Blackhawks. The Mississauga Blackhawks have to go. Lauren Park Ojibwe is already gone. They're Lauren Park Clarkson now. Mississauga Chiefs can't be the Chiefs anymore, which is hilarious because this year they haven't picked a brand yet, so they're all missing all their bags and gear. All says Mississauga Girls Hockey because they haven't figured out what they're going to rebrand it as, but they know that it's a big switchover, right? You've been playing for the same association for a while. You already have the bag, you already got the track pants. The reps' parents are all going bananas that they have to change for next year. I'm like, well, none of you guys are going to stay on those teams anyway, so what difference does it make? 90% of your team will be different next year.
I don't understand, I don't like what are they, the Redskins is kind of, but...
The Redskins is the worst one. There's no black skins, white skins, or yellow skins, but there's Redskins.
Kansas City Chiefs, that's they're tough, right? Like, Fighting Irish, if they were called the Drunken Irish, I could see them saying, no, I don't want that, but the Fighting Irish is a cool name. Like, you pick it because they're cool.
The drunken is implied.
Yeah, no, they know. They Irish.
They have
fighting drunks.
No, but it's like Tecumseh School has to drop its logo and mascot because it's native. Like, there's a whole bunch of the school boards that have been impacted by this finding.
He's like, how are we ever going to remember all the
Indians? Yeah, I know.
He's like a hero that helped beat the Americans. Like, you're celebrating.
But you know, like the most interesting one is like the Blackhawks, right? So the Blackhawks, if anybody looks up sports history, the Blackhawks were the guy that originally owned the Blackhawks when they first came in.
Yeah.
He created the name based on his military unit, and their military unit was called the Blackhawks in World War I because they were a blend of native soldiers and white soldiers, and they called the Blackhawks, and they were one of the most successful military units, and he was the leader of this unit, and he named his team, and he created it out of like honoring his military unit service. And now everybody's tracking them down.
It's just a bunch of loud people that
won't be able to be
wake up and say, "What's going to trigger me today?"
They're offended anymore.
Yeah, I got to burn calories by being triggered.
Well, so one of the guys says to me tonight, he says, "Well,
I noticed you were getting all political on that. You were right in there. In a way, I could feel that hard finger like that as you were typing.
A 70-year-old rave song, like way ahead of its time. Like, it's crazy.
Fuck this up.
And then rap came and took it all over.
Pop singer fucking knows.
Well, that's what I thought was funny. They're worried about a Christmas song where some guy makes a pass at a woman. Yet all I hear in the dressing room is fucking bitches.
Oh my god,
you know, and making money. This is like non-stop, right? Like, it's just like, get over here, ho, and do what I tell you, right? But they're offended by a Christmas song because a guy makes a pass at a woman.
I don't understand that one at all.
It's one guy that sent one email, and they said, "Well, we can't argue because then they'll call us racist or whatever."
There's a place for it to be correct. You know, there are things that aren't right in the world, but there's some where you go a little over the top. Like I always said, when I heard about the Christmas song, I said, so what, are we going to start burning all the World War II and World War I films?
Well, they
right?
are.
It's like all this stuff about the wars because like we want to just pretend it never happened. Like nobody ever killed anybody. Everything's perfect in the world.
They want to take down the statue of Gandhi at Carleton University because they said he was racist. Like Gandhi, yeah.
Yeah, no, it can get a little bit too far.
I'll check.
Check. You checking your cards, or are you checking the 10?
Oh, sure.
But do you remember when we were younger? We kind of like this
No.
kind of all.
No. Next question.
You don't remember when all the police and fire and everybody were having to implement
hold on. What
equality percentages into their forces and stuff? And that was the big push because they're going to force it to be more diverse by regulating it into place, not.
So it's check and bet.
Sure.
Bet 10 and call.
So it's kind of like that kind of stalled because
brought my glass.
naturally as the population change, people taking jobs change. You know, offices look different, businesses look different. Just because the population of workers has changed.
Sure.
I'll do 10.
On? Well,
You raise floor?
Yeah.
Okay, call. I got a pair of twos. and aces.
Oh,
Nice.
Very nice.
well,
You raise
Raise.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, call. I got a pair of 2s and aces.
oh,
Nice.
Very nice.
yeah, I don't know. No, that was the Human Rights Commission. That's like, there's another one of our good investments of our
That's scary.
dollars.
I had a friend, she's like a super progressive woman, high executive, and she had a secretary that she couldn't promote, and she was a Mexican or Latin American, whatever, and she wouldn't get promoted, so she took my friend ahead and their large company to the Human Rights Commission. So
Yeah,
that
very
means
brutal.
you're presumed guilty right away, and also it doesn't matter that you're a member of this company. It's like she's coming after you personally for all your money. So, and it was also a fake, because my friend is like super all about her employees. Like, they were firing one of her secretaries, and she flew back to be the one to get the news out on her own dime. Like, she's all about helping people, and this girl just wanted, but she took it to the human rights. It was terrifying. It took 2 years and millions of dollars. Her company covered her cost, but you have to out of pocket personally, even if it's you're operating as an agent for your company.
Really?
Yeah. The human rights, yeah. It's you're assumed to be guilty, and you've got to.
Our office, they just fire you.
Sound right,
and,
right? I mean, doesn't say like innocent.
Yeah, what about her rights?
Not under commission. It's not a legal thing. It's
It's a claim of a piece of human rights.
it's not under it's not a legal.
It's not under
Entity.
it's not under standard law, right? So like
Yeah,
even
exactly.
this thing that all happened with the hockey team
5?
Yeah.
wasn't a
No. 5'10".
Oh yeah, yeah. What am I talking about? It's rolling back to time.
Me? My fault. But this thing, this was like an agreement, right? Like there's a ruling that it's wrong, but there's an agreement that's reached on how they're gonna resolve it. So
But the standards they go off aren't legal standards.
No.
They're codified standards that these guys wrote up and said, "Thou shalt do this," and we're just these guys, and it's pretty terrifying. Like you hear about it in the news, but when it hits somebody close to you, you're like, didn't realize it was like that.
and they just take so long. Like this one that came out yesterday for Mississauga and all the sports teams and stuff was a complaint that was filed almost 4 years ago. So this has been going on for almost 4 years.
Yeah, and you're paying for that out of your own pocket.
Yeah, somebody's
So it's
got to
like make some money.
somebody's got to be paying, even if
Like
you
a
got
war
to
of
show up
attrition.
once every 6 months and say something, or like somebody's having to deal with it.
It's scary that
Lawyers make money for nothing?
yeah, who can put an end to that?
10.
Donald's trying to put an end to it.
Yeah, but I don't know if Rob Ford's government can do. I don't know how it works with the. I don't know if he can put an end to it.
No. Certain things you don't touch. It's kind of like the
I'll go all
Catholic school board. You don't touch these things. Political suicide.
1,
Yeah, but I don't
14.
know how many people would support him taking down that stuff. I'm out.
You bought it for yourself.
Yeah.
Nice spot. A lot of red ones.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's right there, right?
Yes.
Oh, and then Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was condemned to something,
It's 5
right? That was
Oh, was that just a joke though because of the other one?
no. Well, the Rudolph, you know, the stop motion one. That was they were going after that because they went bullying and they went this and they were coming after the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Nothing.
They said his dad was abusive, and they started.
Well,
like,
they need to go.
went
They
through
need
their
to
little
take Caillou
checklist.
off the air.
No, but it was funny
because
like Rudolph overcomes all
that
this. and
fucking
wins.
dad on
Yeah,
Caillou
it's like
is
it's a good lesson.
Yeah,
something
they
wrong
were
with that
coming
guy.
after it.
It's okay, Caillou. You burned down the house. We'll talk about it later. French TV program that never should have been converted to English. I think we should file a complaint against Dora the Explorer. They don't have no white characters there, and I'm offended by a talking squirrel.
Sorry, you're white male. You can't.
Tico, I know.
Yeah,
I checked.
Don't say. Don't fold.
No, I checked.
Don't fold.
I'm not folding. I'm checking. I'm checking out the next 3 cards.
You're checking out the next 3.
No, you're a white guy born in Canada, so you're not allowed to have an opinion.
I know exactly. Kev.
We have that. We have a diversity and inclusion committee and our new lead.
Yeah, it's pretty
And there's not
scary.
one white guy on the panel. I'm like, well, they're not allowed to have an opinion. There are a few of us that live in this country.
It's pretty scary.
What am I doing here? You better get better cards than me. Oh, I'll just fold.
Check.
I'm trying to keep him away from your scanner, Mark.
Check or call? Because you have to call.
Oh, what was 10? 10?
Yeah, it's 10. Fold.
What's that? Just me. What's going on here?
Mark's offer doesn't tell you that, you see. It only tells you when, like, there's actually cards out there to win.
No, it does.
What's that?
It does.
Well, once he folds, is
Because
it?
I'm like, wow, apparently there's no one else in, and I check. No, story checks out. No one else is in.
Is it hard to source the material for getting this made? And
This was I went to Montreal again, because most of them won't do. They won't just do a top. They want to do a top and build a whole table. I already had a table.
are there a lot of poker top table manufacturers out there?
Well, there's actually quite a few, actually.
Huh.
Like, I was almost about to order from Texas. Yeah, a place in Texas. And then I found the guys in Montreal. I said, will you just do a top for me? He said, yeah, sure. He actually even redid my graphic. So this is like a scalable graphic. So I had kind of done one that was sort of kind of hacky, and then we went through a few iterations, and he redid this one for me. Because you know, you have something that's like 60 by 60, all of a sudden you want to put it on a table, it doesn't scale very well. So, okay, so 510.
But this one's yours now. The red table was somebody else's?
Yeah, I got, the deal was they sent me 2 and I send them 1 back.
Gotcha. So you just had this one reskinned.
Yeah. Derek, you just call me that.
Well, that's the first time you've asked me for that.
So you need to redo your chalk marks so you can see.
Now, why is it doing that? What's going on here?
Try now.
I gotta figure out why it's doing that. Oh, it has the button over on Kevin.
Well, I was in the big blind the last time. So did we put the button in the wrong spot?
I don't remember.
No, I think it was right. I had it, and then you had it.
I don't
You
remember.
sure?
I don't remember having it. But that doesn't mean
You don't remember having the button?
I'm pretty sure I slid it.
I don't
No, you
think
know what?
so. I don't think so.
Last hand I was in the big blind, so I shouldn't have the button.
No, you shouldn't have the button.
Because I was in the big blind because otherwise I wouldn't have stayed in. And then I was debating after you bet whether I should stay in or not.
System.
Yeah.
rare.
Picnic. Do you know that code? Picnic? Apparently it's an IT code that they put when, what's called a problem in chair, not in computer.
Problem in chair, that's good. Should work.
So who's who, what, where?
The
The button's on Kevin.
Oh, okay.
So I'm big.
Yeah. I shouldn't have to do anything because it should have taken lines properly. Now it's back where it belongs, which is on Chris, and you fold it, right? Okay. So there we go.
Made the difference for me.
Yeah.
Check.
Not happy you like the other hand better.
Yes. You got that tone in the check.
From the evil eye.
Check.
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 Back into the same thing too.
Check, for sure.
How'd you get up here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Check.
Oh, sorry. Mike,
Did the guy like that?
you check.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Check.
So it's check, check?
Yeah.
And then
Well, you should have told me. I would have just picked you up on the way here.
I didn't get my act in gear, so you know.
Uber from home or from work?
it's check, check, check.
Huh?
Check, check, check.
Yeah, I mean check. The old check hold.
Oh, yeah. Now you got the nuts.
Check.
10.
Still got a pair of nines.
But now you can fold. What is pair of nines doing?
Oh, I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah.
What do you got?
There's threes, I think.
I don't know. Well, you got me beat.
See, 2 wins apparently.
There's threes. Same hand was alright.
I have to go in on this one.
What's that?
I'm gonna play.
You've been really quiet just sitting down there.
You and me, our stacks are just like.
Mike, you're the dealer now? Yeah. Small big.
Small big.
Oh,
Alright, I'll win.
bowl and a mixing spoon.
You need an auto dealer, auto shuffler.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would make some money.
Let's try a clean card. Call?
Just goes.
For the heck of it, just like Chris was saying, nah, just to go in.
Just going in.
Just going in no matter what.
There's 5 cards that can come up here.
No, I don't know.
Check.
Do you guys ever play Dealer's Choice poker anymore? Anybody ever play that?
No, I think it's coming back.
Yeah.
More games, because Hold'em is.
I barely know how to play this one, let alone play all these other games.
No, it's over here.
No, it's right here.
Okay.
Oh, that's,
My kids have to
shit,
teach
check.
me card games all the time.
Playing 10?
That's what I was playing growing up, eh?
Yeah.
With Rob and that.
Yeah,
Rob was
yeah,
the
we
fucking
mixed it up,
funniest
eh?
kid.
And like Deuce is Wild and Follow the Jack.
It's funny because we played Dealer's Choice, and as soon as we started playing in between, whoever it got to that chose in between, that was just all we played the rest of the
Oh
night.
my gosh.
And the fucking pots, like, remember that? Like one night it went from like $20 to $280 within like 4 people
Yeah.
or something. It's crazy.
You know, sir?
Yeah.
One that we always played was Lou. I don't remember how
Yeah,
to play
Lou.
it anymore. But
I remember
Lou,
the name.
Like we used to sit around the hunting camp for hours and play Lou.
Blue and guts. Remember you put the coin
Play
in your
Lou,
hand?
and that
Yeah.
Lou was kind of like a little bit like
Oh,
Euchre,
yeah,
but
right.
not quite. You had 3 cards and you'd be suited with the time on your own. You didn't have a partner. I don't remember, but it was fun when we played it. Kirk's favorite was always Follow the Jack. So basically, whatever card followed the Jack, would become wild. So if Jack came over,
Oh, yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
poker. So like you'd think you have a good hand, and then all of a sudden,
All of a sudden, you get
the other guy's got like a wild card, and he's got a set.
Dan.
So you want the blue ones back now?
Yeah, I do.
All right, we'll switch next.
Here's my car.
I raise it.
All right, you're doing it. You're going in no matter what.
Call.
Did I just burn already?
What if we have the same mentality? He's gonna go in no matter what. He's gonna do it.
Then one of you will win, and one of you will lose.
Baron.
Ooh.
You can split it.
I'll go 20 again.
No, Rob.
Who's betting the bet after?
Everybody else is betting. The cool kids.
Whoa!
Oh.
Too much respect for Chris. You had a good
Well, he's
hand?
sitting there all night, so he must have had something.
You want those two?
Dying to bet.
You want to do something, is what you're saying.
Yeah, come on.
They try to get some
Waves,
cards
like
to
the
be able
first
to do
game
something. I
I-
think that's what's happening to you. You're just not getting any cards, and you just get blinded out.
Just like I saw that pair of kings, I said, I am taking this.
Where's the
one."
dealer?
Is this you?
You are.
Oh, it's on me.
Greatness on Chris.
You're a little bit.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
You're the button.
Oh, you're the butt?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So,
Doesn't that mean you were the button?
He was the button the last
You
time.
were the button. Yeah,
Last time?
I'm sorry, I pushed it over then.
Yeah. Well, let's just go with the computer says.
Yeah, that's when we should trust software.
What does a computer do?
It knows that Chris is the
built
button.
software.
Well, after the singularity, it'll be the ruler, so we gotta be nice now, right?
Yeah, otherwise they'll know that we were
Yeah.
cooperating.
Like, hey, they weren't listening.
What do you need?
820.
4 of those?
isn't that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
You can get rid of 6 there.
Someone up?
I thought you were just taking it for yourself.
What? We just let him kill the cards. He's not good at making
He's
change.
trying to do
You had 70 lights, right?
Yeah, you want some whites?
Just get rid of the
You
lights.
did.
Oh, we've upped the
Is
blinds,
this
is that
20?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, so we no longer need sales.
I don't appreciate those ahead.
What about the tip? I have to tip somebody those again.
I have 2, I'll give you 1 to tip them.
Do I don't need them at all? We're moving up?
So in Vegas now at
Oh, it looks better with all the
where were we
stacks.
playing? Just beside Paris. Between
Hollywood?
Paris and
Hollywood?
Bally's.
Like Hollywood? Oh.
Playing Hollywood. No, playing Hollywood. We were playing there, and you can be on your phone talking, texting now.
That's
They
annoying.
didn't care.
That's annoying though. Like for the people that aren't on it. Well,
Why do you travel places to be on your phone?
I just found it unusual. No one else would let you.
these blue cards are way better than
What? You said the blue, you wanted blue cards.
you changed too early.
20.
Slow call.
So when you went on your monster truck ride, was it just you and your buddy, or was it like limo
No, it was
loaded
eight.
full of people?
There was 8 of us.
Did you do jumps and stuff, like one of the courses, or?
Yeah, not
Little
really
bit.
jumps, because the thing's so long you can't jump. So, but you go over the long.
Were you like in a nice 5-point harness, like
No.
spring
Vegas.
seat or something like that?
Vegas.
You're just bouncing around in an old Chevy bench seat,
50 cows at the
big
helicopter.
springs all over the place.
That's the vehicle.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
So just flip. There's a video. Like go.
You go for dinner in that thing or what?
Not that one. Go to the next one. And then go again. That's just another video. A picture inside. Go again. That's a picture inside. So, oh, it was so loud. We had to have the ear protection and everything. It was.
That's awesome.
Nah, it's pretty cool. They had
What do you got? What do you got?
they had a
What do you
monster
got?
truck 2 years ago at
nice.
fair where I grew up. And the kids went. And you could pay, and you'd go up, and they would go into it. Now, it didn't have a course; it just had a few little bumps and stuff. But you literally sat, and it was only 4 people who went at a time. It was basically a monster truck was an open roll cage, and you'd sit in it. And they'd drive over just some little dirt bumps, and they went through they had mud drag racing and stuff there, so they went through the mud pit. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to get all dirty. The kids came out just covered.
Alright, come on, let's go, man. We gotta move this game along.
Well, we can move the blinds
All
up.
in, all in.
Lines up next in.
You can go to bed, man. There you go, birdie tomorrow.
We gotta get up and get to hockey practice soon.
Mike,
Gotta go to
do
physio.
something.
Gotta go to physio for 8:30 now.
Yeah, trying to avoid all of those.
Oh, it's on me? It's 10?
Yep.
No,
But of all the injuries my kids have got, they haven't gotten from hockey. They got from
Still small. What am I doing?
Get them from falling down the park. And
Small line, yeah. Rob? Derek's on you.
I gotta go pee. Next time I'm all in, no matter what.
Check. Check. I'll bet 10.
I got scared of me.
Yeah, they're all like giving you way too much respect.
Small and big.
I like moving the white ones around. So.
Feels like you're doing something.
Well, I gave in all those white ones.
Feels like I had
this
a lot
little
more
tiny
chips.
stack, so.
So your guy played for the Red Wings. How'd you pull that off being in Oakville? I guess that was before the LOR changes a couple of years ago.
Oh. Who else is coaching? You're coaching?
Mhm.
Did you have to take the transgender course this year?
Yep.
3 hours?
Yep.
3 hours.
Yep. Gender identification.
3 hours.
Possible that the other coach on the team took it.
All are supposed to take it.
Yeah,
Guys
you
are
can't
like
be on
go
the
out
bench
there without
without
it. Yeah. Surprise.
from
It's kind of
the
like the
provincial
respect in
shit to
sport.
me.
It's
Yeah.
provincial. It's not even like local. It's human rights stuff.
You're 20.
Yes. You ask all the children how they want to identify.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even don't bully. It's here's what all this stuff means. Sit down, 3 hours.
It's funny because on this team that I'm coaching now, last
Check.
year there was a boy that identified as a girl. So if any team should have had it, should have been this team that had a coach
Yeah, I
that
think.
had that kind of training.
Because
20.
the only thing, like, I
It's
just
10, I
clicked
checked.
through it and
Oh, is it
bought
not?
it, but
Oh.
the only thing that's scary
You
is
see
that
they were betting down there.
I don't know
falling
if the
asleep.
human rights code could come out to you for.
I just
Oh,
trusted the
this
software.
secret.
You said check, I'm
Part I
like, it's not an
listened to.
option.
I
I
think
mean,
watch
use
my
volunteer
language.
was free. party, doing all this stuff. Pardon?
It's so easy to call everyone guys. Come on, guys, let's go.
I call everyone guys.
No,
Is that derogatory?
I don't know.
No,
I'm nervous
I do
about it.
that.
Every time I say it, I think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said
No,
that.
I do
should
that.
say boys and girls.
I do that all the time. Little fuckers, that's what you call them. Listen, our team has 3 girls on, the goalie and 2 other, and we just call them guys all the time. We don't use boys. We don't ever say, okay, let's go boys, we gotta fire it up boys, we say guys.
Defense women.
Defense women.
Which sounded so weird.
That sounds really
The
stupid.
defense women flying up here, and I was like, what?
Would they even want to be called that?
They're not even women, they're
My
girls.
daughter would laugh at some of this stuff when she was doing this, because she only wants to play with the boys. She doesn't know anything else. She played girls soccer and hated it. She wanted to play on the boys team, and they
You
wouldn't let
folded.
her.
I did.
Yeah, I had you. When did you fold?
Then I should have filed a complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, our coach did file a complaint, actually, with the Ontario Soccer Association. Because he coached their hockey team, and he wanted to coach the soccer team, and he wanted to take most of the kids, a lot of the boys play soccer. And so he wanted to take his daughter and my daughter with the boys that play soccer and play, and they wouldn't let him coach the team because he had a daughter. He's like, how come soccer is the only sport in the world where when they're little kids, the boys and girls can't play together? Like,
That's weird though.
why is it like they play hockey, they play tennis, they play badminton, they play lacrosse, they play everything else, but soccer is totally
There's a
separated.
couple. We have a few
Wow, how much
instances
is that,
in our
Rob?
club that there's girls playing with on the boys team.
In soccer?
Yeah.
How old are they?
Yeah,
60.
U12.
Because there's no
That's
contact, there's no
weird.
body size
That's
difference.
very weird. So they won't let you do it in Mississauga at all. Academy soccer or
Well, it's rap, but it's still at a club.
Yeah.
Like it's still part of the club.
yeah, but academy or so under whatever. There's 2 sets of rules, right? There's the academy rules.
It's not ODBL or whatever it's called.
Maybe if there's
ODBL.
enough options for the
They're too young.
premier players.
ODBL doesn't start till 13, so.
Okay.
Is there enough options for the premier players? Like if you're a top level girl soccer,
There's a
you've
girl that
got-
keeps coming out to play with my daughter's team, and then she ends up going back and playing with the boys' team. It's weird. She's fucking different. Holy
Yeah.
shit, 'cause
Okay,
she's
10 and 20 now.
only ever played with the.
No,
No,
you're
No,
the
you're
dealer.
the
Of course
dealer.
I am.
Small and big.
Mine's not a very good soccer player, but she plays net when she plays soccer.
Because there's no contact in soccer, really, right?
No, it's actually worse for girls. It's actually more concussions and that kind of stuff.
The Oakville girls team wears headgear like rugby
For
headgear when they
soccer?
play
Yeah.
for soccer. Yeah, because they get so many
Yeah,
concussions.
How
Of
do
heads
they-
banging.
Oh, just looking
They
down?
run down and they just bang their heads. So they're not big enough or old enough yet to be able to like jump and head the ball or actually do it. It's just running. They just collide and their heads bash together.
That sounds like fun.
The wife says that it's because they all got their long hair and ponytails swinging, so they don't know what's going on. They need to cut their hair
20.
because they won't let them
get
wear
rid
hats.
of heading out of soccer. That must make so many concussions or cause so many concussions.
I don't think hitting the
Heading
ball does.
Gotta be.
No, I don't.
I
think
hated
so.
it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Doing that.
What am I gonna do?
It's 10 more to call.
That was back
It's
before
too
they realized what
expensive for those
concussion
cars.
was.
Option?
Check.
I don't think that like I'm supposed to be alive based on all these new concussion.
I broke 2
Guidelines.
windshields. I'm sure it would be way smarter, but I'm alright.
Although I mean, I understand though that it's really bad because I've seen some of the kids. One of the dads for a team we played on 2 years ago, his wife played hockey, you know, recreationally, and she fell in a game. She just fell. Everybody's like, "Oh, what happened?" Nothing. She fell.
Check.
And like 4 years later, she still can barely leave the house. She wears different colored glasses to try and help her see.
check?
She's basically housebound.
I forgot to change the line structure.
So, like, I
Did you
assume the
set
mom
that
and dad
up
were
to
separated or
automatically go by
something. Like
number
I
of hands
didn't
that
know
go
this
through?
guy before.
Yeah, and
He's a
I
nice
just
guy,
added
and I
clock
talked
to
to
it.
him.
I think actually.
But he never really said anything about his wife, right? So I thought, well, maybe he's divorced or maybe
on the roadmap,
Yeah.
things to do.
widowed or something. Like I don't know, so I wasn't
I
really
played
gonna ask.
tournament one
And
day,
then
so
one day
I saw
his sister showed up.
There was
And
he
then
had
this
8
other
tables
lady
like
comes,
this in
and
his
I go,
basement.
oh,
Told the
yeah,
average
it's my sister. Oh,
font
you know,
size.
Yeah,
this is my
yeah,
sister.
it's
And then,
but
so
yeah,
I
so
didn't
basically
even know he was
taking that
married, and then
software
someone else had told
and
me
injecting
that
that into here
she'd
so that it
been
follows
playing
that.
hockey and fell. And ran
So
into
it's
the
actually
woods and-
here.
I knew a girl that we went to high school with. She was, remember Michelle Delville? Yeah, she was at gymnastics class helping, she was coaching or something, and a girl, like she had helped one girl through her somersault or whatever and turned around, the other girl hit her in the head. That was it. She's been, like, she's basically housebound and TV in crowds. Or
Isn't it? It's
You
unbelievable,
just didn't
isn't
hear
it?
about it in the old days, right?
Didn't know what it was.
It's tougher than
Some crazy person.
Well, you don't talk about it. Well, they say miscarriages are, I mean, a huge number, but women didn't talk about that. Like people.
Where we at?
That's up to you.
It's up to you. Yeah.
Check or no check.
It's 10. We're supposed to be at 10:20 in our system.
Well, but I mean, now with hockey, they've made the rules so like the referees report if they suspect there's a concussion now to put the pressure on the trainer of the team. So, like one of the kids on our team that had gone down, and I guess it was really questionable whether or not he was hurt. The referee had contacted the league. Our trainer had not submitted the paperwork for concussion protocol, so it actually ended up starting the work a week later. And it's 2 to 3 weeks to come back from concussion protocol.
Oh, yeah.
Like just follow. Let's assume that you don't have anything wrong. Let's assume you have no symptoms, but you've been suspected of having concussion. Just to be able to go to your first appointment, and before you can do it, then you're about 2 to 3 weeks before you can skate. Then you got to do 3 practices before you can return to game play. So that effectively covers another week.
Who's got the button?
Moving along.
Yeah, must be me.
He was in front of me. So.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
I actually bumped the button.
But the referees are responsible if they think they saw something of reporting it on the game sheet. So are the coaches. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's the trainer, the coaches, but the coaches and trainers, in fairness, they don't see everything that goes on all the time, right? You're trying to run a bench, you don't see everything that's happening. Like you see lots. So if the referee does see it, they tick it on the game sheet. GTHL's all those nice iPad digital game sheets. They just go over and click the box, player number.
And you guys have it when the goalie gets a puck in the head that stops play?
No. That is not a GTHL rule, but
OMA
OMA has that rule. So it depends on which section you're playing under.
That was when we were in Mississauga.
Yeah, MHL has it. MHL has it if the goalie gets struck or the puck hits the goalie in the head that they blow the play.
Now a plate in my head is interfering.
I guess. I'm gonna open action.
You were the wrong way.
I got it. They got you.
You were the wrong way.
It's up to you.
You fold. What happened?
I folded 20.
You called?
Call.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
And then you folded?
Yeah.
Alright.
Call.
And then you called?
Soccer have any of those rules? Like if they collide heads or anything, you have to report and put them through a protocol?
I know, like I coach just the house league and
Yeah.
they
Well, they would usually have the same
concussion
rules.
protocol, but we do have like manager and stuff on the rep team that I don't like. We haven't seen that happen to know if they do, but I'm sure they do. It was just 1 year that it was a big deal at the coaches meeting, but other than that, it hasn't really.
Are you seeing numbers like when we were in the MHL, our league was shrinking, and that it was that 1 year that all the leagues, the different little communities.
Where did you play before?
We played at Applewood.
Okay,
and
so
then,
Applewood's still on its own, but
they can't do it. They can't do a team at every age group.
So Cooksville and Cooksville and Credit Valley went together to form. They're now the Heartland Dragons. And Lauren Park and Clarkson went together to form the Hurricanes. Port Credit's still on its own as a strong number of kids. Arendelle has a lot of kids. Meadowville's got a pretty thriving program just based on demographics.
Oh, that's cool.
Lauren Park's really struggling still because the area that they're in, and Port Credit's starting to see it too. at the younger groups,
Yeah.
the neighborhood's mature.
Yeah.
So like, there's lots of kids playing
It's too
hockey if you
expensive.
count the whole program.
Yeah.
But it's not the cost; it's that
No,
the families are aging out.
Yeah,
so
so
what's
young-
happening is everybody's 12, 13, 14, and there's no like 4, 5, and 6-year-olds entering in because the families aren't moving,
Yeah.
and their kids are now growing and moving on. And there's only, let's be honest, there's only a select few that are, you know, got 2 kids under 5 years old that are buying a house in
Well, that's what I
Lower
mean.
Park,
Like they're
right? Like,
the
not that
prices
easy.
are going up, and then it's going further out.
Yeah.
So all the people here, but
yeah. So
but kids-
Meadowvale's had a big surge. Like, they've been doing very well.
and also we're
Brampton
scout leaders.
struggles.
I was a scout leader in Toronto, and now we've found a group that he resurrected an 80-year-old troop in Milton that he was in, I guess, as a kid, and it had folded. There was nobody there, so kids just aren't doing these things, right? So
They're not as interested in
Well,
things.
there's also so many things to do that actually dilutes everything as well.
It's 20 deep.
There's just too many things to do.
I'm not blind.
But I just think the 2 things I'm involved in, the scouting and the hockey, they're going down.
Hockey's definitely enrollment is
Was it under?
big decline in enrollment.
Yeah, but that's because there's too many things to do. There's tennis, there's hockey, there's
It's not just
soccer.
that. It's also
Yeah.
it's become too well. It's expensive, but it's also become too serious, right? Like it's not. There's no fun hockey anymore,
Yeah.
right? Like you got to have the right personality to find fun in what my kids do, and like there's not a lot of fun.
Check.
Like it's go out there and get yelled at and sweat yourself to death and try to kill yourself for somebody else and
Sorry. Shouldn't have folded.
Check.
Like in Milton, there's tons of stuff to do. There's a little ski hill there. There's the mountain biking. There's the velodrome. There's all the stuff. But Connor doesn't want to. His video game. That's what he wants to do, right? So he's got an hour and a half of video game, and
Did you
that's
do
it.
that 20?
Yeah. No, yeah, 20, yeah.
video games takes up a lot of it.
Well, he's got friends that don't do any sports. They just come home and they're online. Their parents let them be online 8 hours.
That's crazy.
I'm downstairs watching a TV. The Xbox is there and it's on, and you see that it pops up. One of his friends is playing Xbox.
Yeah.
It's like 10:30 at night.
My guy gets an hour and 5 minutes a day, and he has to choose when he uses it.
An hour and 5.
He has an hour and 5 minutes because just the way the Xbox
Yeah,
parental controls work, that it gives you a notice at 5 minutes before it's up. So I say give him an hour, and so I give him an hour and 5. So he gets an hour and 5 minutes, and if he shoots his 100 pucks, then he can earn himself another 10 minutes.
There you go.
To use throughout the day, just to go blast through the 100 pucks and pick them up.
I don't know.
Because it started with shooting the
that's
pucks,
just
and it shooted with me going into the garage, opening the garage, and fucking bucks everywhere, and the bucket wasn't full again, and I'm like, okay, so you gotta shoot them and pick them up. But my daughter's not different, but she doesn't play games.
Yeah.
She likes to play the NHL hockey game,
Yeah.
but she'll spend hours looking at people make slime or watching fucking dance moms.
Yeah, the YouTube.
Like
that's
she
the other
knows,
thing.
she knows all these songs and dances and everything, and it's all because she just watches it on the iPad. So she has the same thing. She has a screen time limit. Like you have to, because for me, an hour for them playing a video game can go by in a hurry.
Oh,
Because in an hour, I maybe have got the dishwasher unloaded, started to think about dinner, checked my email a few times, tried to remember whether I have to make football picks, and then an hour's gone by.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 or 3 can slip by really fast if you don't put a limit on it.
I have
They
to
get
come
more on the weekends though. Both
For
of
my
mine.
exam
both
for
of mine
marketing
extended,
class, I got to come up with a new
weekends.
product. So I came up with product that I would buy. So you have your kids, and it's a battery-powered system that if they want YouTube or their video game, here's your battery. You sit on that bike, or you sit on your treadmill, and you charge that battery. When it runs out, you get back on that bike, and it can go in your outdoor bike. And I don't know if anybody else would buy it, but then there's no arguing. There's no time. It's like, is the battery dead? The battery's dead.
I like that idea. I saw that years ago for powering a TV.
My dad won to do that when I was a kid, like in the 70s. He threatened to do that. Like I was ever at home or like we had Atari, like boring. Like we were outside.
Dash, but I don't have your card yet. Got it.
Makes me think of the lady when I see those like Living Abroad or whatever TV shows, and the lady that gets on her bike and washes her laundry.
Yeah.
It's like at the side of her living room. It's in Hawaii or something. And so she goes and gets a pail of water and dumps it in, and it's connected to a bicycle. And she was washing her laundry on the edge of her patio. And she's like, "Oh, I love washing the laundry. Look at my view." She's looking out over the ocean and over the greenery and everything. It actually looked pretty nice.
It's not like they don't want to do other stuff, but compared to the video game, which is anything, and it's a dopamine injection, like how can you compete against that, right?
I don't blame them because I like playing video games too, so I can totally understand why they like them. Because I've played video games forever since I was a kid. Like I love video games. I hate pinball.
I had a friend that he was amazing at pinball. Like he could go and
I like video games. Yeah, some people are really good at it. I'm not very good at video games, but I like playing them. Until they really piss me off, and then...
At our cottage, we were on an island, and it was my...
Slow burn here, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of chipping away, chipping away.
Out in the water. It's got an outhouse.
I'll call
we
you.
have a
I'll
VHS.
get my change in a second.
And we didn't have Wi-Fi until 2 years ago, and it was perfect because if you needed a business call or something, you'd get in the boat and you'd go over. You'd have to drive. So all the members of my family that are executives, like they could have it. There's no phone. There's no checking their phone. Somebody built a tower 2 years ago, and now the kids are on their phone, and Kathy's sitting there having calls like with all over the world and all day. It's brutal, but before that, it was paradise. Like there was no communication. Kids would just go and play,
what have you done here?
Canoe, fish, like do everything because they want to do stuff. But if they have that stupid device. That was a big one.
My guy likes to go fishing.
And more singles, though.
His coach takes him
Are we
and
raising the
their
lines?
son,
What are we
they
doing?
go fishing a lot.
We got one fish in our lake and we've already caught it. We'll probably catch it again next year.
Yeah, I'm dying here.
Are we 100, 200 now?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Tell me what you want.
Yeah, let's go 50, 20, 50.
1,500?
Sure. I don't know. Is that too fast for some people?
I don't think I
No,
Blind out.
20, 40?
45. 45, 90.
2040. 2040. 2040 is fine.
Okay.
Alright.
2040, is that what you said?
I think I do need to make that change you talk about too, because when you hit the prompt and say, yeah, okay, go ahead, next hand, it automatically takes the blinds, right? So it just took the blinds, and then we're like, oh, we're gonna change up the session. So I said the session.
Set a prompt or something to remind you. Yeah, it could
Well,
be
it
just
does.
around.
It does.
I thought you were just throwing it
now's
in
the time
over
to.
I thought you were tossing it back
into
into the,
session.
Does
Now
it
we're
got
gonna
a
next
difference?
hand.
No, but
So really, when we say, oh, we should raise the blinds, I should say, oh, next hand.
relative to
Let's
my
do the
net
next
worth,
hand,
I
because
should
otherwise,
hold on.
You need some sort of meter to, like a mile marker
yeah,
to say,
exactly. The stacks will get off by that blind amount.
Your kids spend a lot of time on games?
No, our kids don't. They have no screen time during the week, and they get it's supposed to be an hour a day on the weekend.
And how old are they?
9 and 11.
9 and 11. So the same as mine.
They end up with like more on the weekend than they
Yeah.
which is totally fine. But they really don't do it.
Oh, I need you, buddy. Did you get your cards?
You didn't get my cards?
No.
That's like the first time.
Yeah. That's okay.
There's something wrong with these cards.
Connor's got none on Monday, which is
Good.
hell fighting.
No, I still didn't get
an hour and a half.
The extra anyway.
Does he do? Does he play Fortnite?
Sorry.
No, he doesn't play that one.
No, Walker has no interest in it.
Oh, my guy loves Fortnite.
Colin? Oh, it's
I don't know what he
2040.
Walker does that
Is
thing.
that
he,
not
like,
for
where he
older
watches.
kids, Fortnite?
No,
I've never played it.
A lot of his buddies play it, but he
No, no, lots of kids play it at all ages.
2040, right?
But he does that, like watching other people.
Yeah.
play
What am I,
video games.
40? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Sorry.
Sorry, that's what he's trying to
You've
do.
got an hour.
Okay.
I'm just looking
40.
at Kevin. That's all Kevin has.
No. My guy plays Fortnite. I don't let him play Battlefield. I don't let him play any of those ones. Fortnite's more kind of cartoonish.
Is it on me? It's on me. And
Yeah.
But it's so weird because my guy only wants to play Fortnite if his friends are online playing. Right?
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah, it's just
otherwise
when
he'll
you
just
get
walk
right to
away.
it, Mike, what'd you do? Called?
Called.
No, I got your code.
He's only he's literally only interested because it's more about being social than it is actually about playing the game.
So are they? They talk.
They talk nonstop.
Like with a headset.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
God, my house it drives me fucking bonkers.
It's on Bluetooth. It goes into Lori's headset, and she's like, "Stop swearing," because Lori's like listening to.
No, so we have
podcasts on her
certain, like,
Bluetooth
so
headphones,
there are
and
stuff
his
you
is
have to
mixing up
watch.
in hers. She's like, "Hey."
So we in our house, like it's kind of our own fault because what happens is when they're playing,
Are you all in, Kev? What are
we
you
make
doing?
have the TV volume turned up,
Yeah.
so we can hear
Oh,
who
okay.
he's talking to, and we can
11?
hear what they're saying.
6?
So you're not really listening, but
Yeah.
you're passing around and like.
And you know that they.
Yeah, because I always know because I always ask him who he's playing with.
What'd you do,
Every time
Pat
he's
Derek?
playing, we
You
try
had,
to make sure, right? I have it all set up so they can't accept any friends. Like I have to do it all for
Oh, that's
them.
cool.
I have to do it all for
Oh, that's
them.
cool. Yeah.
So like, I don't let them do it. What
I tried
happened
to do
there?
that for Connor, but
40
he
or
hacks
Thursday,
everything.
40, I'm in for 6. iPod.
When we moved to Milton 2 years ago, he started at a school, and his first day of school, halfway through the year, he
Take
came home.
6 out of your pot and put it down here with
Just, how about 6 out?
yeah, 6 out there.
This one too?
No.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah, 'cause I only had 6 on that round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
because you called, right?
Isn't it?
That's right. You should have 4 sets of 6.
So who's eligible to win this?
Right now, everybody,
Okay.
but they just separated that one aside because what they just did is mixed everything else in like you're gonna lose.
No, but he
I wasn't. I'm not eligible for some of that.
He's not eligible for that. He's not eligible
Right.
But it
for
was for the.
34
So
Oh yeah.
each guy stack in
So
that
the
one.
computer will tell you if you win.
Well, I'm gonna win. So it's gonna be it's gonna be an issue. I'm gonna
I'm not gonna do
Derek, what do you do?
that. Fucking lot.
Yeah.
Get done with it.
40. I'm in trouble with my vision for some reason.
It's retired. I'm the
You
side
need
problem.
some
Is
fat.
that what it is?
It's a
Yeah,
bacon.
I do need some fat.
Yeah, what we need to do is take the
Bacon.
I'm folding.
Oh.
Once again, I thought we were trying to just take a player out, but apparently we're
Yeah,
We're not.
we're not. Rob? Gone?
No.
no. He's betting 100,
looking
so
for
he's
change?
raising at 60.
You want another 60 from that, or what are you looking for?
He's all or nothing. This guy.
He wants another 60.
He's going home in 10 minutes.
You made it 100. I can't back up. I went past that.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I can.
You do it. You play your game. I just have to. So you're
Okay.
calling?
Yeah.
So then you take that back.
Yep. Well, I'll go on.
Yeah,
40,
sure.
80, 80.
He says sure. So whatever.
Fine.
They'll figure out their end of the table after.
Okay.
Fair jacks.
Yeah,
40,
sure.
80, 80.
He says sure. So whatever.
Fine.
They'll figure out their end of the table after.
Okay.
Fair jacks.
Someone's felt it.
I have 2 pair.
George hates C5.
That's me.
C5.
So you take it all, but clearly he has you
Fine.
covered if.
C5. C5.
Yeah, this is
I don't know.
you gotta match that.
It's about 90.
So it's 80. This is
Somebody got felted.
9.
That we do. Get felted.
There you go.
Thank you.
I gotta bounce.
Now that you felt it.
That means everybody's got to move their car
Oh, that is.
because you were at the very front.
Here, take some of this. I don't want to move my car.
Well, it is a Jeep.
Go around?
Yeah. I could.
You guys just want to do pillow flip to decide the rest of it, or you want to play it out? Derek's like, I want to play it out.
You just raise the blinds super high and then we'll just go.
Finish it?
Like, who's left there? I don't know how much you
I'll
guys
go with
have
that.
left.
Oh, not that matters.
I'm all in.
Not many. I ate them all.
The blinds super high and then we'll just go.
Finish it?
Like, who's left there? I don't know how much you
I'll
guys
go with
have
that.
left.
Oh, not that matters.
I'm all in.
Not many. I ate them all. That's all the video's going to show is me eating chips.
What's going on, Jackson? There's chips left here.
So what are we doing? We're just gonna
Raise the blind?
Sure. Yeah, I just made it. I think I just made it 100, 200.
Oh.
Is the button in the right spot? No. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's supposed to go. No?
Yeah.
Well, that means I'm 200, but I'm short. But that's close enough to 200 right there.
Here's a change.
C8 pays blind 100.
Oh, you do? No, you have 100.
100.
Yeah, yeah. You have 45 bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you're good. And then you're 200.
Ouch.
Yeah, and then we just steal some cards.
Oh, sorry.
Too much big wall.
Money in the way.
Most of them did.
Did you change your tie rods when you were down there doing all that stuff? No.
No.
They're not. The seats are not all for the.
They might have been done it.
Oh, before it.
Well, no. Some was done.
Doing 200.
It was squeaking. Yeah, I did the tie rods and ball joints. My mechanic did.
Okay, so I only have 40.
That was
So
part
I
of the
can't get
deal
to the
for
200,
tires.
so I only have
They screwed me
140
around.
total.
287 it says.
I got a tie
I
rod
don't know if that's
from Amazon. I couldn't
Called?
get it off, just the front left one.
Right.
I said, put that in. It took him 2.5 hours for the head mechanic to get it off. No charge.
Nice.
You calling?
Call. What is it?
287.
It's another 32.
$32?
Yep.
Sure, I'll call. These are ones, right?
And then we can just flip them up. Those are good things.
Oh, okay. So we don't want any aces to come up. Alright, so give us 9s and jacks.
9s and jacks. How about an ace and a king and a 5?
Yeah, that don't help me. That's good. Now I'm out of here.
Interesting.
Unless you're gonna deal me like a queen 10.
2 jacks.
Magic
back
can
to back.
happen. You could get
Queen 10?
10.
That's good.
No, I mean, what you need.
That's not gonna help.
Club? No club. You're in big trouble.
Yeah. They both have ace. Oh, you got ace 10 down there.
They both have ace 10.
Yeah, well,
Oh, they both have ace 10. Oh, well, they
you're
can
gonna be
split.
chopping it up, eh?
Is that all the money you put in total?
That's it. Yeah, I got.
So he's got to split.
My brain is up.
I can look at the history if you want, and I can tell you.
Well, basically what you need to do, Chris, is you need to match that stack,
Yeah,
and then you guys split that. So
You just
the
match
rest of the
stack,
pot
take
is
the rest
yours.
of
But
the
you
pot.
need to take that stack out of
Split
the
this too?
splat.
Or is he got?
No, that'll.
Right.
No, because he didn't have enough to go in.
I didn't have any. Yeah. Here.
But they,
Because he was only in for like less than 100,
No, but
right?
But technically.